And what? No, go.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Black Spinner vidcast. I'm Al. I got my esteemed co-host Andy Rodriguez. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing all right, man. Very excited to do this Christmas show. This time we're doing Christmas albums. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we got Joseph Staub over here. I'm actually over here. Resident, guest usually a lot on our show. We appreciate it, Joseph. How you doing, brother?
Thanks for having me. Doing great and ready to talk about some Christmas music.
Cool, man. And we got from the Plug Podcast, That Metal Station, Bushy, Mr. Nate Atchison. How you doing, Bushy?
Dude, I'm doing well. I'm glad I was able to get this figured out so I could be on this show. I didn't have time to get all my albums out. That kind of sucks. Especially my all-time favorite. I wanted to at least close with that one, but oh well.
I'll pull that out for you.
If any of us have it, man, we'll hold it up or whatever, you know.
Sweet.
But I'm sure you got some oddball ones in there, though. Like everybody's probably has their oddball ones and shit. So
I think I have one that's an oddball. Joseph, I've never worked with you, man. This is cool.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
I think we did. Didn't we do like a wrestling show with Eric a couple years ago? I think.
Oh yeah. That was you.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of beer in between then and now.
All right, man. What we're doing is top 10 plus 5 honorable mentions. Christmas albums. I went with albums this time. A lot of people usually do songs. I figure, fuck it, man, go with albums. You know, there's a lot of Christmas albums out there. And I was looking up lists, man. I was like, damn, I forgot, like, you know, this artist or this band had a Christmas album. It's like amazing, like how many friggin' Christmas albums are out there. So I figured it'd be kind of a cool. It's only a few days left to Christmas, and man, I still got to finish Christmas shopping. But fuck,
Hey, I'm with you.
I'm such a last minute asshole when it comes to that shit, dude. You know what I mean? But anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go Joseph, Nate, Andy, and then myself. We'll go around the room. Before we get to that, though, we have a little segment called What's Spinning. We kind of highlight like what we've been listening to or what you want to highlight. Any kind of artist or album like that you've been like listening to lately. We'll just highlight one if you have one. So we'll go with Joseph. What do you got, brother?
Alrighty. So, one of the things I've been listening to and watching a lot lately. A couple weeks ago, Blue Oyster Cult put out a new live album.
Yes,
for their 50th anniversary. Their 50th anniversary shows that they did last year up in New York. They did 3 shows, 3 nights in a row. Each night they played one of their first 3 albums in its entirety, and then like a set of deep tracks and stuff after that on as like a second set each night. And so what they're doing is they're putting out each night as its own set. So it's like a 2 CD DVD set for each night. The first one just came out a couple weeks ago, and this is amazing. I mean, it's the entire first album plus a bunch of deep cuts, and Albert Bouchard is playing with them on pretty much the entire show. Wow. So it's really cool for anybody that's a Blue Oyster Cult fan. Definitely check this out. If you're not a Blue Oyster Cult fan, I think this is a great way to start because it gives you kind of an overview of their career. Plus, you get the entire first album, and it's a great performance. They still sound amazing for 50 years in.
Yeah, I remember a friend of mine. He said we played in bands together. He's a drummer. He's got like 10 years on me. So I mean, he saw Blue Oyster Cult like back in the 70s and stuff. And I remember we were talking about wanted to go hit up like some of those shows. We didn't end up going to that, but I remember not too long after that, I've talked about this on another show. They played in Staten Island, New York. It was pretty much I think it might have been like the week after like they did those shows, and then like the one in Staten Island was kind of like just kind of a best of, like they did like a conglomeration of like the 3 first albums, and Albert Bouchard was actually he was playing with the Dictator. The
Dictators.
Yep. Dictators, and they opened up. So
nice.
Then during BOC set, he came out and did a few songs with them. So that was kind of cool. I got to see that at least. You know, they put on a great show as usual.
Oh yeah.
You know, so but that's cool. You got that. So what are they gonna do? Like every couple months, put out like each one or something?
I guess since this is the first one, they haven't announced when the next one's coming out yet. I know they announced it for pre-order like 3 or 4 months ago, so we'll know decently ahead of time what they're gonna do. But I mean, it's Frontier, so you know they shit stuff out like
Yeah,
every
yeah.
every
Oh,
day.
Frontier's just like every day, man.
Yeah.
Cool, man. All right, Bushy, man. What do you got? You got something, brother?
Man, I gotta say, I'm horrible about listening to music anymore. I'm such a tube head. I sit in front of the TV all the time.
Even if
Most
it's something, even if it's something you streamed or whatever, man. Anything that.
yeah. Well, I listen to a lot of liquid metal in my van when I'm driving.
Yeah.
So I've wicked got into this band Orbit Culture, dude. They're heavy as shit. I think it's their latest album, Descent. I heard the title track, Descent, on Liquid Metal on Sirius. I mean, good aggressive vocals, heavy riffage. It's really cool. All I have is a digital copy of it, so I can't show you their work
cool.
or anything. But if you like heavy music, man, and I mean real aggressive vocals, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not so many blast beats, good drums. I'm not a blast beat fan. I definitely say check out Orbit Culture. I'm getting into a lot heavier music, which is hilarious. I'm almost 50 years old, and this is shit that like people walk by and be like, "Good God, what the hell is that? Turn that noise off."
I'm writing that down. Orbit Culture, right?
Yeah. The album is Descent, Descent. I know you're a New York, New Jersey guy, so I got to help with that.
Yeah, now I'm a Florida guy, so
You better change up that accent, brother. You're gonna get looks like I do down here in these mountains.
nah, Jersey will never leave the accent, man. They will never leave. You know what I mean? But that's cool, man. I have to check them out. Bushy.
Yeah,
Orbit
it's
Culture.
good, heavy stuff, dude. Orbit Culture, it's good stuff.
Cool. How about you, brother Andy?
Yeah, the other day, well, not the other day, but during Black Friday, I went record shopping. I did not get anything that was for record store day, but I did find this gem that I've been looking for a long time. Sucking in the 70s by the Rolling Stones. It's
Nice.
a really good album. I listened to this last night, and also another compilation from the 70s called Made in the Shade, where the cover looks like it's Bridget Nielsen, but I don't think it is. But I've come up with a conclusion. In the 60s, the Beatles were better than the Stones, 100%. But the Stones in the 70s were better than all four Beatles solos in their careers, in my opinion. The Stones in the 70s got very, very interesting in the music that they were doing. To me, that was their best time was in the 70s. And I just think that they're better than the Beatles solo throughout the 70s.
I think Bushy's laughing because he thinks he's a Stones guy, right?
Well, what I think's funny is he couldn't give me one. He already crapped all over my 60 Stones. And then I'm like, he said, but the Stones in the 70s. And I was like, oh, yeah, here we go. Because it's definitely better than that Sgt. Pepper's and that White Album and all that crap. And he says, then the solo albums. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And hey, to me, I don't even think it's by much. I think Wings comes close.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I mean, like, listen, man. It's always been the debate, the Stones, Beatles, and I mean, admittedly, I'm more. I've come around to the Beatles, where I appreciate them a lot more. But when I was younger, man, I was more of a Stones guy. I really was.
I've done. I've come around to the Beatles a little bit. I still get into their hippie tripe.
Yeah.
But man, that 60s stuff when they're on the Ed Sullivan Show, your Love Me Do's and I Want to Hold Your Hand and stuff like that. I love it. But there's no way that blows out stuff like freaking Painted Black. Come on.
Yeah, but those were like 3 years apart.
I know, but still.
Because when they were doing Painted Black, they were doing Taxman, Tomorrow Never Knows.
Yeah.
Stuff that blows out.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. So.
Yeah, Andy, I think
amazing album.
I think I remember us doing a year by year between Stones and Beatles, man. And I gotta say, dude, I mean, in that time frame, I mean, Beatles were beating the Stones, man, putting out their material. But
I respect everything they've done. I am super thankful to their contribution to music, but I like that raw bluesy sound, I guess, more.
Yeah.
That's why I've always been more attracted to the Stones.
Yeah.
Because I know I shit on the Beatles a lot, but I have a few of their albums. I even have a couple of them on vinyl. So I mean, I know I shit on them a lot.
Huh.
But I just gun to head, I'll take the Stones any day.
I mean, to me,
70 Stones, it's just
That's a good record.
groove. They groove
to me,
so much.
To me, the Stones, they they started coming into their own with Beggar's Banquet. Like starting there was really like when the Stones like really fucking were starting to hit their stride, man. You know, and I think had the Beatles like kind of continued as well, I think the Stones would have probably eventually beat them out, man. If the Beatles continued doing albums in the 70s, you know, I think the Stones might have edged them out. But hey, listen, the Beatles stopped touring in what, 67, 66?
66.
Yeah,
66.
I think because of that, man, the Stones kind of took the mantle and fucking. I think they took the torch and ran with it, dude.
Yeah,
You know, because they became like the touring kind of thing, you know. And I don't know, man. I mean, I love both bands, dude, but you know, it's tough to when you have the album run of the Stones, like from Beggar's Banquet up until like It's Only Rock and Roll. You know, that's pretty damn fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat, man.
Yeah,
You know?
that's my favorite era is the Mick Taylor years.
The Mick Taylor years, man.
Same.
it's
Amazing.
funny because like Good Head Soup is my all-time favorite Stones record. Nothing before or since has touched it, in my opinion. And it's like there's one hippie tripe song on that album, and it infuriates me. But it's no Satanic Majesty's Request.
No,
Oh.
that was a
Horrible.
total disaster.
Horrible album.
All right, man. Continuing on, my pick of the week is a band called the Jelly Jam. Now, this band is a super group. It's got Ty Tabor from King's X, John Mayung on bass from Dream Theater, and Rod Morgenstein on drums from the Dregs and Winger. This is their fourth album. It's called Prophet. If you like kind of like a little bit of progressive with a lot of melody and heaviness too, and just great melodic singing. I love Ty Tabor's voice. I've always loved his voice in King's X. It's not as good as Doug's, but he's got a great voice too in my opinion. And this band actually started as a 4-piece, but they were called Platypus, which featured Derek Sherinian on keyboards. Once Derek Sherinian left, they became a trio and they changed their name to Jelly Jam. So they have 4 albums. This is their last album, which came out in 2016. So I don't know if they'll ever come out with another one. I know they toured a little bit here and there, I guess, in between Dream Theater and whatever schedules they had, King's X and stuff like that, but not much touring, but they did tour a little bit. But I love this album. I love the Jelly Jam. I like the first 2 albums the best, though. So if you get like Jelly Jam 1 and 2, if you like King's X and like Dream Theater and it kind of like mix them together a little bit, that's kind of what you get, you know. Not as like over the top as Dream Theater, a little more on the King's X side, you know. That's how I like my prog. Sometimes too over the top, it loses me. You know, I like songs and melody and things like that with great playing. So if you like that kind of stuff, the Jelly Jam's kind of cool. So check them out. And that's it, man. So if we're gonna start up with the top 10, we'll start with Joseph over there. You want to go your number 10, brother? Go ahead, man.
All righty. So I'm going to start off my list with something that has become fairly common with Christmas music, and that is compilation albums.
Yeah.
And so this is the only compilation album on my list, and this is an album that I definitely grew up with. My parents had on CD from the time I was really young, and we listened to it all the time when I was growing up, and that is the Time Life Treasury of Christmas from the late 80s. Has a great mix of stuff going back into the 50s, Bing Crosby, that kind of era, traditional stuff, all the way up into like Dolly Parton and some stuff from like that had been coming out in the 80s. It definitely leans traditional, but it has like some Beach Boys songs on it. It has some Elvis songs on it, but it does tend to lean towards the crooners more. But I think it's a great mix. They put out a couple volumes of this. This is the original volume. It's a 2-disc set. I think it's a great mix of some different stuff, and it's definitely a really big personal one for me growing up listening to this all the time. I think it's a great compilation. Probably it's on my list. So it's my favorite compilation of Christmas music.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Nate, go ahead, brother.
All right, I'll probably catch some flack for this one, but you know what? Let's just get it the hell out of the way. Number 10, it has the most annoying Christmas song to some. The rest of us are of sane and sound mind and body, and know it's
Don't even tell me. Don't even fucking tell me.
one of the greatest Christmas songs of all time is on this album. But it's, come on, man. Mariah Carey, Mary.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself, dude.
With the stellar "All I Want for Christmas Is You." Come on.
And the thing
It's amazing.
I'm so
It's
upset.
amazing.
I thought I had it. I looked and looked for it, and I don't have it. I gotta go look for it. I swore I had it, and I don't.
I don't either. In fact, the only song I honestly really have off of the album that I actually spent money and bought was a digital version of said "All I Want for Christmas Is You," because it's amazing, Al. It's amazing.
It is.
Dude,
I have listened to the whole album and it's really good. She does the pop, she does the traditional, she does Christmas hymns as well as Christmas songs. It's a good blend of music, man. It's fun, and come on, the woman can sing.
Oh, she's
I'm kicking
great.
you off this show,
She's one
man.
of my
That's
favorite.
out of here, man. No, listen, man. I think it was like 2 years ago, and I don't know how the hell I did it. I don't know how the fuck I did it, man. But I went the whole Christmas season without hearing that song once.
I'm so sorry. It had to be the worst Christmas ever.
No, it was not. That it was the greatest year of my life, bro. The greatest. No, like I don't know, man. I didn't listen to the radio. I didn't put on the radio because if you put on the radio and they're playing Christmas songs, that's fucking every hour that song, dude.
That and Wham.
Yeah.
That's
That's what another great song.
Yeah,
And even the Paul McCartney one too. You hear that one all the time.
Oh, the Wings. Yeah.
No, but I couldn't believe it. Like when Christmas was over, like I was like, dude, I didn't hear like and I walked into department stores. Maybe I just missed it. Like I was just lucky I missed it. Because you walk into department stores, you hear that shit too when you're shopping. You know what I mean? So I was like, dude, I didn't really hear that all year. This is a good year, man. I goof on it. I know. And the thing that makes me laugh is she's become this like queen of Christmas now.
Yes, it's great.
This whole thing, like she's like the biggest like Christmas. I'm like, where the hell did that come from? Like
you couldn't ask for a better looking Christmas queen. I can tell you that.
Well,
Now everyone makes the jokes. Well, it's November, time to defrost Mariah Carey.
I always see it, man.
I listen to that song during the year, dude. How could you not be in a great mood hearing that song?
Dude, all right, man. Well, listen,
you're with me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well,
I love that song. I love Mariah Carey.
Let me write down
the odd man out.
Let me write down here. Nate Joseph never allowed back on the show again.
Hey, your own co-host said it too.
Well, I have to live with him, man.
Al said, "Screw it, I'm going solo."
Top 10 Mariah Carey coming up soon, but I guess not.
Oh shit, man. You might have to go solo for that one, buddy.
That's funny.
Anyway, Andy, go ahead.
Al on that show, please.
Yes. I'm going to start off with a compilation of wonderful Christmas music that's instrumental. I'm talking about Christmas brass.
Oh, I think I have that one, man.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great. You got all the traditional Christmas songs, all done with brass. Great horns. I don't know anybody that actually plays on this, but they were awesome. So I've had this quite a bit.
I could tell by the album cover.
Oh yeah, my cat was on it, so I had to cut the corners off.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Christmas
I think
brass is what I'll start off with.
I think my album cover might look like that too. I think it's pretty worn out and all like fucked up and shit like that. But yeah, that's cool, man. I think I do have that one. That looks familiar, man. It's probably in like one of like crates of albums that like I very rarely like take out. So
yeah, I always have my Christmas apart, and then I bring them out the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, cool.
And I bet it really is a good album because I like to on YouTube, on the big screen.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube and go to the Christmas Yule log, and that's all it is instrumental music that plays for like 12 hours straight.
Huh.
So I could dig the hell out of that. I bet it's badass.
When I was
Yeah,
young,
really.
and they used to, my parents used to put the Yule log on TV. I used to always like, when that log never like burns out. Why don't they throw a new log on there? And it's like it's the same shit, man. It's not burning out. So,
Dude, I've got a DVD of a Yule log. And it's the best thing ever because I've never turned it off. And that thing is burned for a week and a half straight. For I was like, bro,
Oh,
it's
man.
going to change this.
Yeah.
It's going to ruin my damn DVD player.
Wrong channel, the Fireplace channel.
all right, man. So my number 10, I'm gonna go hard rock here. I'm gonna go Twisted Sister with a Twisted Christmas.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
That should
I know
only be an honorable mention on anybody's list.
I know it's kind of corny, but you know, Twisted Sister doing Christmas. I even saw one of their Christmas shows, you know, when they played here in New Jersey. Yeah, I think they even filmed the DVD. It was at Starland Ballroom in Sayreville. I think that's where they filmed the DVD that they released. I was at that show, and
That's awesome.
it was fun, man. You know, it was cool. It's a fun album to throw on. I mean, who didn't like Twisted Sister growing up? You know, and
Yeah.
you know, so that got me into. They were one of the bands that got me into heavy metal and stuff like that. So, but I'll put their album at number 10. So I don't even have the physical copy of it. I have the CD somewhere in storage, but. So you know they do the traditional songs, you know, "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," "Oh Come All Ye Faithful," which is the single I think that they play all the time. So
Yeah.
They do.
I
So-
think I suffer from burnout on that track the way you would with "All I Want for Christmas Is You."
oh really?
Yeah, because it's like, all right, we get it. Stop. Play the Lita Ford song.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because
So,
there are
yeah.
some good songs on there for sure.
Yeah.
I've got the album too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. All right, so that's my number 10, man. Number 9, Joe. ahead.
Alrighty. So you'll definitely notice that my list skews very traditional. This is what I was brought up on, so that's a lot of what I really love of
That's
Christmas
great,
music.
man.
And so my next pick is the Andy Williams Christmas album
Oh, yeah, man.
from the 60s. I mean, of course, it's the most wonderful time of the year. I mean, they play it all the time on the radio, just as well as Happy Holidays and the holiday seasons when they play all the time. There's some great stuff on here, mix of traditional hymns and some more pop tunes, as I just mentioned. But there's White Christmas, the Christmas song, Jingle Bells, First Noel, Holy Night. So a lot of traditional stuff as well. But just a great Christmas album that you hear a lot of on the radio around Christmas time. Andy Williams has a great voice. Love this album.
And I was going to say the great thing about Christmas music, the traditional Christmas music, because they've gotten kind of away from that, but is the offbeat, wonderful musicians.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you those old like swing bands and stuff.
The bells and the horns and all sorts of shit. And like today, they don't do it as much when they remake these songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of their vocals.
When we get to my number,
does have Jingle Bells in it.
Hmm.
All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Oh boy.
when we get to my number 1,
Yeah.
I think it is one of the best arrangements of any album ever released. I think musically it is one of the best arrangements. So when we get to my number 1, I'll talk about that.
Oh wow.
All right, Nate, go ahead, brother.
Oh, number 9. Mine's kind of off the wall because I'm switching genres from pop to not rock, country. And there's like a million country artists out there that could do a Christmas album. But my favorite of all the country albums is Kenny Chesney. All I Want for Christmas Is a Real Good Tan. It's such a good song. I mean, it's very Christmassy. I mean, the album cover, I wish I had the CD with me. But like I said, I just worked a 12-hour shift today, guys. The album cover.
Kenny Chesney has a Christmas album.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's leaned up next to a palm tree sitting on the beach with a Christmas Santa hat on and a red cutoff shirt because, he's got to flash the guns,
Always.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of good staples on there. Jingle Bells, which it's a song I don't honestly like, but it's fun. It's got I'll Be Home for Christmas. He does a great job. He does Alabama's Christmas in Dixie, which is
Love that track.
I am so sorry, Alabama fans, because I love me some Alabama, but I prefer this version. It's got Thank God for Kids, which I've never understood that song because I hate them little shits. It's just it's got a lot of good stuff. I like his version of Silent Night in the little town of Bethlehem. It's a great album, man.
Mhm. And I really like Kenny Chesney to begin with. He's had some really good, solid albums.
Yeah, agreed.
I'll definitely have to check that out. Christmas in Dixie is one of my favorite Christmas songs. I'll have to check out his version.
That was originated by Alabama.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, and I thought that like my favorite country Christmas album was the Garth Brooks Christmas album. It's like impossible
Really
to find
good.
anywhere. It's a great album, and Garth Brooks is like next to Hank Jr. He's my favorite, man. I mean, I'd really have to fight between those two guys. I love everything Garth does.
Yep.
But
I'm
man,
right there
I
with
heard
you.
this album and I was like, oh shit, this is really good, because especially that title track is kind of funny. But look, Al, you left cold ass Jersey, New York City to go your ass down to Florida where it's warm. People with common sense go where it's warm. Andy's in Texas. I moved to North Carolina and still didn't go far enough south. I should have gone to the fucking Keys because it's only in the 20s here right now in these mountains. And Joe, I don't know where you are.
I'm
He's
up in
in PA,
PA.
Yeah, see, you haven't figured it out yet.
Pennsylvania gets frozen.
Not that cold here right now.
But yeah, I'm not the cold weather guy, man. I all I want for Christmas is a real good tan. I felt that every single winter for 32 years, living 36 miles from the Canadian border. It was cold. It was dreary. It was snowy. I hated it. So that song resonates with me like nothing but a good time.
Dude, you know what? After 51 years of being in Jersey, I just was like, it's time for a change, man. And it was funny, like when we were contemplating moving, my wife was like, well, we can move to Pennsylvania, be near my dad, and then in 10 years we can move down to Florida when you retire. I'm like, fuck that. If I'm moving, I'm doing the one move. Yes. That's it, man. I ain't moving and then moving again in 10 years. Like, because this move nearly killed me. Andy knows. Yeah. This fucking move nearly killed me, dude. You know what I mean? Just to move my vinyl alone was a bitch. You know what I mean?
So it seemed like he moved like for a whole month going back.
Oh, God, man. Dude, I'm like,
I was gonna say, I saw an awful lot of I'm moving and driving videos because you got awful far from me. I mean, you were a few hours away, but when you were coming through North Carolina, you were just a few hours away from it.
I stopped at my cousin's. He lives outside of Greensboro near like High Point or something like that.
Yeah, that's 2 hours away. My whole family on my dad's side is actually from Greensboro. There's a road my family comes from. It's called Atchison Road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I still have a great aunt that lives there and a cousin that lives on that road.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very common when families live somewhere that they have that whole road named after that family.
Yeah, slow down. It's not a big road.
Hey, it's a road named after your family.
It's like a dirt bicycle trail or some shit.
No, I actually took my daughter there. I had to pick her up in Greensboro a few years ago because she had come home early from New York. She wanted to be back with Dad, and that was like my step-niece drove her from Virginia to Greensboro. So we met at my favorite barbecue restaurant, Stamey's. Pretty sure I said, go to Stamey's when I saw that you were there. And then I was like, screw it. I took her over there. I'm like, man, they paved this road. When did that happen? When I learned how to ride a bicycle on this road, it was not a paved road.
Yeah.
They burned down my great-grandparents' house for fire training. There's video of that online. It like broke my heart to see because I remember that's where I learned how to ride a bicycle on that road, But yeah, man, that was cool. You're just a couple hours away from me, literally 2.5.
Yeah. All right, Andy, what do you got, brother?
This is going to be my first oddball. It's on CD. When I found it, I said, this title sounds weird, but I'm going to check it out. A TV Christmas dinner.
Wow.
And what is this, you ask? Well, they're Christmas songs. It's a compilation sung by TV stars. There's Silent Night by the Brady Kids.
Give me something by William Shatner.
There's an Edith and Archie medley, which is sung by Edith and Archie Bunker.
Wow.
There's a song called I Wonder As I Wonder. If y'all are fans of 2020, it's sung by Hugh Downs. If y'all can remember Hugh Downs.
I remember Hugh Downs, man.
Yeah. Also, Jim Neighbors, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, which they got the Chipmunks on here as well, and Gene Autry doing the classic rendition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's how this album starts off. And of course the Chipmunks with the Chipmunk song, but yep, a TV Christmas dinner. And I love it. It's great. It's really good cheesy stuff by TV stars of some of my favorite TV shows. And they got a song on here with the Partridge Family.
It looks
Rock Around the Christmas Tree.
It looks like a Swanson Hungry Man on there.
Yeah, exactly. The old-fashioned TV dinners on foil. Before
the youngins aren't going to know what that's about.
Before you found out you're not supposed to put foil inside a microwave.
Oh God!
So
Salisbury steak.
Yeah, Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes.
Oh Lord! All right, man. My number 9. And recently, I mean, he only came out with this a few years ago, and I actually dig it, man. It's Steve Perry, The Season.
Oh wow!
Yeah, dude, I dig it, man. It's got Santa Claus is coming to town, Silver Bells, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I love Steve Perry, man. I love him. I loved him in Journey. Obviously, he was the voice, and he has a Christmas album, dude. So, and he came. I think this came out in only 2 years ago, 2021.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
So 2021, man. And I got this at Walmart, which is on blue vinyl, which is cool. And man, if you never checked it out, man, I mean, if you like Steve Perry and Journey, dude, I mean, check it out, man. I love Steve Perry. He's a great voice, and I guess he just wanted to let everybody know that he's still out there. I know he had a solo album come out of like maybe 2 years before that or something, so I guess he still wanted to stay in the spotlight. His solo album was pretty good too, actually. I have that as well. So, but yeah, Steve Perry. That's my number 9. Steve Perry. Was it The Season? So number 8, Joseph, man.
All righty. So my number 8 is the soundtrack to one of the greatest Christmas specials of all time, and that is A Charlie Brown Christmas from the Vince Guaraldi Trio. I mean, just some great Christmas jazz music. I mean, it's absolutely a classic. They still play a lot of it on the radio all the time, but just some amazing, great jazz trio, just playing some really, really good Christmas jazz music. Anyone who loves the Charlie Brown Christmas special or just loves some good jazz music, definitely check this album out.
Yeah, it's a great album.
If you don't already know it, I mean, most people probably know it. So
that album that's an awesome album, and it's been out there for years already. I think it even has like the Charlie Brown Pumpkin, all that stuff on there.
The CD one does. I think this was a repress of the original album. Okay. And it's on green vinyl. So
nice, man.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Beautiful, man. Great album, man. All right, Nate, number 8, brother.
Number
8? Yeah, number 8.
Yeah, my number 8. I don't have to talk about it. Same as Joe's, man. A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Shit.
It's come on. It's fucking amazing. I love the keys. You know.
Oh yeah.
I love the
Linus and Lucy, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a fun album, man. And who doesn't remember watching that special every year? I mean, some of us are probably dork enough where we still do it. I don't even like cartoons, but for some reason, Christmas specials get a pass, dude.
Yeah.
I watch all of them.
I agree.
It's a great album, but I dig jazz too. So
yeah, you can't go wrong with that, man.
No way.
It's such a big part of like growing up, dude. Was like hearing that stuff. So.
Oh yeah. And I would also agree as far as television Christmas specials go, hands down the best.
Yep. Yeah, I put it up there as my top 5. I think my number 1 would be like the Rudolph one with the old school one,
the old animatronic, the stop motion photography and stuff.
Yeah, I love, dude. I mean, growing
that's
up,
in my top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I love that one, man. There's so many good ones, though. There's a lot of good ones. So
a lot of.
All right, number 8, Andy. Go ahead,
Yeah,
brother.
I just want to put some word out there. There's a lot of people watching out there. Thank you, Mark Alden Taylor, and you too, Scribble and Scribble. This one's for you, number 8, Bing Crosby's.
There you go.
Yes, classic one by him. Wonderful stuff. I mean, y'all know all the songs. The White Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Silent Night, Jingle Bells. He just has that voice, man. And he was great. And I know that Scribble's a big fan.
Oh, Bing
Crosby.
Bing is the man, bro.
Yeah, he really is. And also a hello to Jonathan Emmons from Memphis, Tennessee. Hi there. It's nice of you to join us. All right, so that's my number 8 was Bing Crosby.
All right, man. Well, my number 8 might be the oddball in my list, but I don't have my physical copy here. Again, I have the CD of it, but this was a band that I actually hated when I was younger, man. But like as I got older, like I learned to appreciate them as I got more into like some progressive rock and things like that. And that's a Jethro Tull's Christmas album. Now, like people might be like Jethro Tull Christmas, but their Christmas album is really good, man, because they really have like that kind of classical and like jazz elements to their music, so it lends well to like the holiday kind of album. So I mean, if you never checked it out, man, and you don't even like Jethro Tull, you might like this album actually, because I think it's great, man. And I have a CD of it. And again, when I was young and a kid, I hated Jethro Tull, man. I was like, fuck it. I was into metal and all that stuff. I'm like, and then when they won the metal fucking award in '89, Metallica, I was like, what the hell is this, man? But like, no, as I gotten older, man, I actually saw them in concert a couple of times, and great musicians, and I've come to love like Aqualung album and Benefit and all. I got a bunch of the 70s albums and I love them. But the Christmas album is great, man. If you never heard it, stream it, whatever, man. But I think it's a cool album. Like, it has that classical kind of jazz, and it's very seasonal, man. I mean, it's just like really cool. So, and I think Ian Anderson wrote a couple originals on there too. So he kind of threw some originals into some traditional stuff. So that's my number 8. It's gonna be Jethro Tull, the Christmas album. So we're gonna go number 7 to Joe.
That's cool because I didn't know Jethro Tull had a Christmas album.
Yeah, man. I think they had it out since like the 90s. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Joe.
All right. So my number 7 is the album that I could not find my vinyl copy of, and I just noticed that the CD they changed the name, and that is Andy's last pick, Bing Crosby, and the CD they changed it to White Christmas as the title, not Merry Christmas. But it's the exact same songs, the same track list and everything. I mean, just an absolute classic album, one of the best, and it's so many great tracks. I mean, to this day, I think Bing does the best version of the song White Christmas. And there's so many other great tracks. The Andrews sisters singing on a lot of it. Just a great album. Shout out to Scribble.
Yeah, Bing, man. He's just a staple at Christmas, dude.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't fucking grow up and hear Bing Crosby, dude, you weren't living, bro.
Hell, if you didn't watch the movie.
And White Christmas is one of my favorite movies of all time. So, what a great movie.
Nice.
All right, 7, man. Let's go, Bushy.
All right, this one, it's obscure. I don't have a copy. My mom had it on vinyl. I really want to say it was a compilation, but a compilation of his versions of songs. And that's Nat King Cole. The album I remember was him sitting in front of a fireplace.
Yeah, I remember that too, man.
Yeah, the Christmas song is what it's called. But if you go to Wiki and like try to look that up, it'll give you the song, but it's not on that album. It's weird. It's like the album doesn't exist. But you could buy it right now on Amazon. But it opens up with that song, and come on, is it not Christmas if you don't hear that sultry Nat King Cole chestnuts roasting on an open fire?
Yeah.
It's a great album. It was one of my mom's. She played every damn year. It's got the other stuff. It's got some O Tannenbaum on there, which was cool because we were living in Germany. The little town of Bethlehem. I saw the Three Ships, which is one that people aren't familiar with, which is great.
Mhm.
Cradle in Bethlehem. He went kind of outside of the box while he was still doing some of your more traditional hymns and such. But yes, it's a great album. If you can get a hold of it, really check it out. You can buy it for $6.12 on Amazon right now on CD.
There might be a couple of different like variations of Nat King Cole Christmas. So
Yeah.
There are, but it's just that's the one that I remember. She had that playing every year.
you never know. It might have been one of those like budget ones or something that you found at like, I don't know, a gas station or something like that.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
a
it
weird-
was the vinyl album,
Yeah.
but yeah, I remember that, and like we said before, there's like a billion Christmas albums out there.
Yeah.
But that
You know-
that one in particular, you'll know what it is because he's just kind of sitting face forward like this in front of a fire.
Yeah, because a lot of these artists, man, especially the older ones, man, like they probably repackage and reissue, the Christmas albums and all. Like it has like different covers and even different names and shit like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
you might have just had a variation of like something that came out a certain year and then went on to like another reissue like years later or something. So
Yeah.
Is it this album cover? I don't know if you can. You can't.
I
Probably see
can't
it.
see it, man.
Yeah.
Kind of keep it on the side there. Yeah, a little. Oh, it might.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one. It's a good album, dude. There's a lot of good stuff on there. He does a Desta Fideles, and when I think of that song, I think of that as more operatic. But man, Nat King Cole, like I said, that sultry, sexy, fucking smooth tone he has, it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, and that's cool, man. All right, Andy, it's number 7, brother.
Yeah, my number 7. People might put this one a little bit higher, but I got this guy at number 7. Elvis Christmas album.
Oh yeah,
The Elvis Christmas album. I mean, I think he made several of them, right? Am I right or just?
oh, he made a bunch of them. Dude.
He made a couple.
Bunch.
Yeah.
I've got one that's
Here's the vinyl. Here's the vinyl version of it.
There's the one of like him in front of a mountain or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
and I've got a different one from even all of that I'm in my honorable mentions. So
Yeah, this is pretty much it's got all the standards, White Christmas, Silent Night, Blue Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I know what it is. So Elvis is my number 7.
cool, man.
man, I can't believe Elvis didn't make my list. I should just go to hell right now.
All right, my number 7, and I'm actually going to go. It's kind of a tradition. I go see them every year, and I'm going to see them this Saturday. I'm taking my daughter, Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yes,
Just saw him last Friday.
Yeah, how were they?
I have never seen them.
Freaking amazing. This year, I tell you what, the set is insane.
See now
like
this.
Play in
stage.
Charlotte. That's 3.5 hours away. Ugh.
See now this year. See the one you saw, Joseph. Now who was singing with him?
I saw the East lineup with Chris Caffrey and stuff.
Yes. So the funny thing is, I'm going to be seeing the West lineup down here,
Oh,
which is the first time I'll be seeing that lineup. So I know it's got like Al Petrelli in there on
Yeah.
guitar, and
it's Al and Johnny Lee Middleton are the two Sabotage guys. in
yeah. So I'm seeing a different version, which is kind of cool because I've seen the East Coast version for years and years. So this is kind of cool. I'm going to get like a different variation now.
there. Mhm.
They have a bunch of Christmas albums, but I want Christmas Eve and Other Stories. This is actually the 25th anniversary of it, so it's kind of cool. And it's got the usual. It's got the what's the one? Christmas Eve Sarajevo. That's the one.
One of the greatest instrumental Christmas songs of all time.
Yeah, which was born out of Sabotage. I mean, that
It was a Sabotage
It
song.
was a Sabotage song. So I mean, that's really kind of where this was born out of, And
Every
love-
year I
and-
wear my Hall of the Mountain King shirt to the TSO shows.
yeah, and I love like you go to them and they'll throw in a Sabotage song or two, and people will like look around, scratch their heads because a lot of the people there have no fucking clue.
Well,
like,
this
They're
year,
there for the Christmas
this
show.
year-
I want to go and see them.
yeah.
this year the Sabotage song they were throwing in was "This Isn't What We Meant" off of Dead Winter Dead,
Oh, okay.
and the East lineup has Zach Stevens as one of the singers. So it was so
cool.
cool to get to see Zach Stevens do a Sabotage song.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's
I
cool.
didn't know that they had two different bands.
Yeah. Well, they have the two lineups, so they cover more. I mean, because really, they only start touring in what? Do they
Right
start
before
touring in October?
Middle of November.
Middle of pretty
I was
much.
going to say October, November, then they're done by the new
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
It's basically about a month and a half.
Yeah. So and they usually like top grossing. They usually make the list of like top grossing tours, and they only tour. I'll say like like a month and a half.
Yeah.
But they have two lineups, covering all ground. Like they're doing West Coast, East Coast. So they have two different lineups.
And a lot of towns they do a matinee and an evening show as well.
They do two shows, because on this Saturday they're doing a 2:30 show and a 7:30. I'm going to the later show.
Oh wow!
But they'll do two shows a night. So
See, that's just props, man. Those guys are working for a month and a half the way bands in the 60s and 70s worked every freaking night.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, and they pull in so many great musicians from outside. So like, I've only seen the East lineup, so I'm kind of biased. I think just on paper, the East lineup is definitely the stronger lineup.
Yeah.
Especially vocally. I mean, you got Russell Allen from Symphony X. You got Zach Stevens from Sabotage. You got Caleb Johnson, who won American Idol a couple years ago.
Is Mariah Formica on that lineup?
No, she's on your lineup.
Okay, so I'm going to get to see her. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. From Plush.
Speaking of, love her. She was great. I saw Plush last year open up for Alice in Chains. They were amazing.
Yeah,
but
great band.
Yeah. But then music-wise, they pull in like Joe Hoekstra from Whitesnake is in the East lineup as the second guitar player.
Yeah.
And just the musicians they pull in. I mean, you're going to be seeing Jeff Scott Soto this weekend.
Wow.
For years I think Blas Elias from
he's drumming.
Slaughter Slaughter is the drummer for the West lineup. But it's just the musicians they pull in for this thing is absolutely insane. I mean, for years Alex Skolnick was the guitar player.
Yeah, I've seen them with him. 1 year, one of the early years when I saw, I remember Joan Jett came out and played the encore with them, and they did, I think, the Little Drummer Boy with her, so that was cool. I think 1 year, I missed a year, but I think like Greg Lake came out and did I believe Father Christmas, which is my favorite.
I would have teared up on that one
all time, dude. I love that Christmas song, but like they used to always pull up. When like I guess an artist had like a Christmas song, they would bring them up or bring them out if they happen to be in that city or whatever. So, but yeah, man, I can't wait to see them Saturday. So it'll be cool. I took my daughter like probably 10 years ago when she was only like 6 or something, and she don't remember much of it. But now she's 15, so she's really into like going to shows now. So she said, "Yeah, I want to go." So it's gonna be cool. So that was my number 7. We're gonna go number 6, Joe.
Alrighty. So this is one I don't know if a lot of people will know, but it's definitely one that's personal to me. So a little bit of a backstory on this one. Growing up, my dad's best friend, who lives right down the street from us, he for his job he fixes radios and installs radio systems and stuff like that. So he's really big into like electrical stuff and like engineering and that sort of stuff. And I guess back in the 80s, he built his own like big like tube radio broadcaster. Wow. And so he broadcasts his own AM radio station from right down the street from us. And so he's really big into Christmas music as well. So he plays Christmas music 24/7 from November the whole way through New Year's. Yeah. And it's all like the classics and stuff. And one of the ones that he played a lot when I was growing up, and I love this album so much, I don't know how many people really know about it, is the Percy Faith Orchestra, Christmas Is. It's a really, really good album from the 60s. It's mainly instrumental with some chorus elements thrown in a little bit, but it's a really good, it's like that classic Christmas kind of orchestra sound. So what you're getting from stuff, think about watching like the Lawrence Welk show or something like that. Okay. Basically getting something like that, but it's just such a great, great album. And it's just, if there's one album that makes me really, really feel like Christmas, this is probably towards the top of my list as far as albums that just, you put it in and it just sounds like Christmas. But Christmas Is by Percy Faith and his orchestra, one of my favorites.
Percy
Cool.
Faith has a lot of great Christmas stuff. Too.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Bushy, man. Number 6, brother.
All right, my number 6. Sorry, guys, I was beer burping, so I muted my mic. Man, I don't have a whole lot of rock and roll kind of Christmas stuff on my top 10. Now, it does make my
Doesn't matter.
it does make my honorable mentions because but this one, man, this is pretty funny or pretty fun rather. Not So Silent Night, man. Christmas with REO Speedwagon.
Oh, that an album?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Really? I
And
didn't know they
it's-
had. I didn't know they had a Christmas album.
Yeah. I got to give props where props are due. Mark Alden Taylor sent it to me.
Well, I figured it fucking came from him.
Oh yeah. He sent it to me. I had never heard it before either, man. And I was like, this is pretty good because they again mixed your traditional with a heavier rockin' sound.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. They do some great songs. They do Winter Wonderland, Silent Night, you know, Little Drummer Boy. It's never going to touch David Bowie and Bing Crosby, but I mean, it's good. God rest you, men, you gentlemen. Happy Christmas, war is over. And of course, we all know what the best version of that is. But it's a really, really good album, and I think it's underrated. It's underknown, obviously.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know.
Because I didn't know about it. It's a great freaking album, man. And Mark, look, it's happening. And it's happening live. I'm giving you props, dude. it's a good fucking album.
Nice, man. I gotta check that one out, dude. I didn't know, man.
Yeah, me too.
You got Dropbox? I can send it to you.
I'm sure I can find it on YouTube as well, so it's fine, man. I'm all good.
Hey, I didn't want to help you out at all, Al.
Yes.
You don't like Mariah Carey, so your opinion doesn't even matter.
Yeah. It's a season of giving, right? So here, I'll give you this.
Yeah, I
Right
was gonna say, so when you giving me fucking shit, you gotta bust my balls.
This is getting a little too New York, New Jersey up in here.
Oh boy, here we go, man. The attitude.
Here we go.
You know, it's funny, man. Like moving down here to Florida and starting at a new company. All the guys down here, they're like, they keep like poking me. They're like, I want to see that Jersey attitude come out. You know, they keep kind of poking me and shit. I'm like, you know, it takes a lot to get it out of me, but when it comes, you'll know.
Yeah. This is what you do, Al. I'm gonna tell you from experience. I've been in the South for 5 years, man. Just tell them, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
True, man.
Because once I go, and I'm horrible, I have a filthy mouth, but look, I grew up in the military and I lived 32 years in New York, okay? We say things that offends the hell out of Southern people. And once you piss me off, I could hit you with a barrage of expletives that will melt your soul. You know, I tell people, you know, look, I will cuss out the Pope. Do you have a chance?
Yeah, man. Well, that's how it is, bro.
Yep.
You know.
Just like they say-
up there, ain't it?
Just like they say in A Christmas Story, his cloud of language was still hanging in space somewhere over Lake Michigan.
Oh yes, the greatest Christmas movie of all time,
Absolutely.
all-time favorite.
All right, man. What we at? Number 6 here, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Andy's up.
One of my favorite country singers, and he made a great album, and I really enjoy it. Even though he sings it all laid back, probably because he's stoned when he's singing. But Willie Nelson's Pretty Paper.
Oh, I know the
Black
song.
Willie,
I didn't
bro.
realize he made a whole album
Yeah, it's called Pretty Paper.
because that song is fucking amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he sings it all laid back too. There's Pretty Paper. There's White Christmas, Rudolph, Jingle Bells. Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Santa Claus is coming to town. Frosty the Snowman, which I'm pretty sure y'all have heard that one. She does a great version of it. And of course, Silent Night, Holy Night, and Oh Little Town of Bethlehem. And Booker T. Jones conducts the music on this, and it's the rest of his regular band. But Booker T from Booker T and the MGs is also on this. Pretty Paper by Willie Nelson.
Cool, man. Very cool. All right, well, on number 6, man. Bushy and Joseph already covered it, but I'm going with Vince Guaraldi Trio, Charlie Brown Christmas. This is a silver version here.
Mm-hmm.
On red glitter vinyl.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, it was like a Walmart thing, man. I picked it up, and I mean, Linus and Lucy. I mean, if you don't ever heard that on the radio, then I don't know, dude. You're fucked up, bro. You're not hearing shit. But yeah, man, I love this thing. Yeah, you know what? Now looking at this, Joe, you're right. Yeah, it's like kind of the reissue of like the original Christmas album. So it's got all the Christmas songs on here. Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Christmas song, Green Sleeves. Linus and Lucy obviously is the classic. O Tannenbaum, Christmas Time is Here. So yeah, I mean, if you're into jazz, dude, this was a staple of my childhood growing up, man, hearing this stuff. So I mean, it's got to be in my top 10. I love this album. I love jazz, so I mean, a lot of people don't. They're like, you like jazz, and I'm like, yeah, I love jazz. My older brother, who got me into hard rock and metal, later on, he really became a jazz head, and like I worked with him, and we'd listen to like a jazz station like most of the day, and then once in a while, I'd be like, bro, let me just switch it to a little rock now. You know what I mean? I love jazz and all that, but let me switch it up a little bit, because he would have had that shit on like 24/7,
I like jazz. I'm just not a smooth jazz fan. Like you can take that Kenny G and shove it right up.
Not that.
Yeah,
You gotta have,
There's
I
some
want to hear
fusion
that
in there.
shit. It's got like 3,741 notes in a span of 4 seconds for no reason whatsoever. It's just all over the place.
Throw
That's
some
jazz
fusion
I like.
in there. Throw some Miles Davis.
Yeah.
That kind
Oh
of
yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah. That jazz.
yeah, John Coltrane,
Oh,
things
yeah.
like that, man.
Oh yeah.
Bill Evans, love that stuff, man.
Oh,
So yeah, that's my number. Was that 6? So
6.
yeah, Charlie Brown Christmas, man. I mean, nobody has that, bro. You gotta have it, man. So, all right, man. Number 5, Joseph.
All right, into my top 5, and
Yes, sir.
these are probably top 5 of probably in my top 50 albums of all time,
Oh, wow.
just in general. And also, these are 5 albums that I've listened to probably 100 times a piece, I'd probably say, just growing up on these albums specifically. And I am prepared to take the shit for my number 5, and that is Amy Grant, Home for Christmas. One of my absolute favorites.
Listen, I'm not gonna shit all over that, dude. I mean,
I
She's got a
can't
great
talk
voice,
shit
man.
about that record at all, dude. I remember when
mean-
that bitch was hot. I don't mean her because she was, but I mean that album was
Mhm.
hot.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of the best-selling Christmas albums of all time. I mean, but just so many great tracks on here. "Breath of Heaven" is like her kind of signature song.
Yeah.
"Growing Up Christmas List," "The Night Before Christmas," "Emmanuel, God with Us," doing some great classics. "O Come All Ye Faithful," "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree," "Winter Wonderland," "I'll Be Home for Christmas." Just her voice and the arrangement is just so good on this album. And she has a second. Well, this is her second Christmas album. I'm not very familiar with the first one when she was kind of a little bit more kind of country, a little bit country Christian.
yeah.
But this album and the one that she put out a couple of years after this, "A Christmas to Remember," is another really good one in my opinion. But this is my favorite of her Christmas albums. Absolutely gorgeous music.
Now, did that one come out after her crossover hit "Baby Baby"?
Yeah, this was the album that came out right after Heart in Motion came out.
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh,
a
cool.
really,
No, Amy Grant, man.
really, really good album. I mean, and it's like not my I don't go out and like listen to Amy Grant.
No, neither do I.
That's a really good album, and it's actually one I had forgotten. But as soon as you pulled it up and I saw that cover, I was like, "Oh shit, man, that thing was huge,
hmm
huge!"
And I'm so glad they put it out on 180 gram a couple of years ago.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's just so great. That was immediate pre-order when I saw that this was coming out on 180 gram. It's just so great. Freaking Scribble, man.
Yeah, you love Amy Grant.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I know we're doing Christmas, but Joe, what's your worst Megadeth take ever?
I hate Megadeth. That's literally it. I hate Megadeth.
Oh, well, yeah.
Scribble
Sorry.
loves Megadeth.
Sorry, Scribble. You're right. You're wrong, Joe. You know,
I love Peace Cells. I love Rust in Peace. That's it.
I liked when like Metallica was about to start doing music like big, and then Dave Mustaine fired the whole fucking band and did something better.
Oh boy. All right, man. What are we up to now?
We're number 5.
Number
and
All
it's-
right, Bushy, right? Yeah, number 5,
Yeah.
Bushy. Go ahead.
Look, this is fucked up because, and I'm sorry for like cussing all over the damn Christmas episode, but that's kind of what I do. This one, I don't own a physical copy of it anymore. I have not been able to find a physical copy of this particular album. And as a little guy, I remember putting this on my turntable in my room, and I was living in Heidelberg, Germany. So we're talking 3rd grade, dude. And it's Alvin and the Chipmunks. And it's just called A Chipmunk Christmas. But I have found out Googling the fuck out of this while we're talking, because I've got my list. You know,
Yeah.
I've got my list of
Oh,
albums.
that one?
No, that's not the one, dude.
They put out some different versions of it.
Yeah,
That's not the one. See,
and they make different ones.
this one was from 1981, and it featured, here I've got it written down, Alvin, Simon, Theodore, and Santa Claus.
Oh,
It's actually the soundtrack from a special they did in 1981. I never knew that until about, I don't know, 3 minutes ago, and I was like, oh shit, I got to look this up real quick. And what I remember from it was a song called Crash Cups Christmas, because it was so bizarre. I mean, the opening verse is like children dressed like skeletons and ghosts, firecrackers, while the turkey roasts. Here comes Santa without fail, hopping down the bunny trail.
dude,
It's so obscure, but it was basically a nightmare Alvin was having, because all he wanted was that golden echo harmonica, which we all know he had to have that. And it ends up being some poor kid from an orphanage he gives his golden echo harmonica to, you know, and it's Santa Claus telling the story, you know, throughout the whole album. It is so ingrained in my childhood memory that I have no physical copy. I cannot find a physical copy, but I remember having the album. It was a gatefold album. You know what I mean? It was still just one record.
right?
But it was a gatefold, and it had all the characters in there, and it was so 1981 cartoony to look at these things. But it's great. It's got all the classics. I mean, it's got my favorite version of all time, actually, of what's that? It's the opening track. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, because that's how I sing it every time I hear it. And it's Dave Seville saying, you know, and I can't wait till you 3 kids are back in school again, like yelling, you know.
Yeah.
So when it's saying Mom and Dad, you know, I'm like, no, I'm always yelling like Dave Seville, because this is that ingrained in my mind. I think it's a great album. Yeah, it's stupid. It's the fucking Chipmunks, for Christ's sakes. But I absolutely love it. And it's a story. You know what I mean? I mean, it's literally you're being read to, because it's Santa Claus narrating, and then you'll go into your little scenes, and then you'll hear the music. You know, it's the most obscure Chipmunks album there is. I think it's fucking great, man. It hits right in number 5.
I bet you go to a thrift store somewhere, man. You can probably find that.
Dude,
Or
you don't
like
even know
Discogs or
how
something.
hard I would like yell and hoot and holler. I'd probably be thrown out of a place where I could make the purchase.
Well, listen, man. If I'm ever in a thrift store and I find it, I'll pick it up for you, brother.
It's got Santa Claus on the cover, man. There's a fireplace behind it with a fire going. The chipmunks are all sitting on his lap.
I think
That one
Andy's
right
like,
there. That off again.
yeah, it's tough to see it, man.
Yeah, that one's hard to see.
It is this one. I'm looking on Discogs right now. They have it for like $5.99.
Yeah.
Shut what they call the fuck up.
Yep. Track
Yeah,
one.
Discogs, man. Yeah, go on Discogs.
Yeah.
You'll find that
Come
shit.
on, payday.
Yep. There you go. Track 1. It's beginning to look.
Who knows,
look a
man?
lot like Christmas.
Behind Andy somewhere is probably a copy of that sitting there.
I probably have
But
it.
Joe, do you see? Does it say Crash Cups Christmas?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's my shit.
All right, man.
You
Well,
can
I,
have it for $5.99.
Well,
I
that's
know.
that's base price. Here, there's
I
like
can't go to a damn McDonald's for less than that.
Right.
they have a couple different. They have well, it's on different stuff, so that's like a base price. They have different levels of stuff. I don't know how good.
yeah,
they
you
have
know,
all
when it
different
goes up,
quality.
to like that might be like a kind of a banged up copy, and then
Yeah.
like when you get to like mint or whatever,
Yeah.
it might
Well,
be.
I'll pay the $100.
Here they have one that says very good plus on both media and sleeve for $9 plus $5 shipping.
There you go.
That's
There you
great.
go.
That's great. Joe, you rule. We should work together.
Well, I'm sure Charles has already talked to you.
Oh yeah. He's sucked me in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, number 5, Andy.
Number 5, I don't have a physical copy of this one because I've been streaming this one for years. Back in the I just wanted to say about Alvin and the Chipmunks. I really enjoyed their cartoons in the mid '80s.
Yes.
That's the classic part for me were those Alvin and Chipmunks there that they were showing.
Do. We're the chipmunks.
and then they had those chicks, those
The
chipettes.
Chipettes, yeah. Oh yeah.
But my number 5, I've been listening to this ever since he had released it. Back in the day on Sirius XM, Bob Dylan had a show on there called the Bob Dylan Theme Time Hour, and right after that ended, he came out with a Christmas album called "Christmas in the Heart" by Bob Dylan, and the reason why I bring up that show is because a lot of the music is that traditional 40s old time radio kind of music with his singing. And he really does a really good job, and it's a very heartfelt performances on that. So Bob Dylan's my number 5 with Christmas in the Heart.
That's what I'm going to write down because as a not Bob Dylan fan, I'm like, you just sing it pretty high praise.
Yeah,
got to check that out.
I remember the Bob Dylan Christmas album. Yeah, that came out like what, in the 90s or 2000s or something.
I like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
That recent, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Christmas in the Heart.
Christmas in the Heart. The cover is going to have like an old fashioned. It's kind of like the album cover will kind of remind you of a Norman Rockwell Christmas painting. Is what the album.
Okay. I liked him with the Traveling Wilburys, so you never know.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Oh, I think now that you described the cover like that, I think I know the album now. Yeah. So, all right, cool, man. So my number 5 is going to be like the first compilation on my list, and this compilation came out in the 90s. And I loved it, and there was a reason why I got it, but I ended up loving like the whole thing. It's called Merry Xmas, A Guitar Christmas.
I've got that album.
You got that one?
I don't have a physical. I've got the digital.
Yeah. So dude, it opens up with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by Kenny Wayne Shepherd. It's all good, great guitar players. We got Eric Johnson on here doing the first Noel. Jeff Beck doing Amazing Grace. Brian Setzer Orchestra. He does a great Christmas show too. I've seen a couple years ago. Jingle Bells. Joe Satriani. Silent Night, Holy Night. Steve Morse. Joy to the World. Steve Vai. Christmas Time is Here. Joe Perry. Blue Christmas. Alex Lifeson of Rush. That's why the big reason why I bought it. But he does a great instrumental version of The Little Drummer Boy, which is really cool. You should check that out. Richie Sambora, Oh Holy Night, and then somebody named Hote or something like that. They do Happy Christmas, War is Over, the John Lennon song. So yeah, if you're into guitar players, man, this is a great one to have. There's actually a volume 2 of this still. There's a Merry Xmas 2. I don't have that one. But I think that's got like Nugent on there and a bunch of other guitar. When you think of Christmas, you think of Ted Nugent, right? But,
Of course.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, check him out, man. Either volume is probably good. I mean, the second one is good too. I just don't have a physical copy of it. But if you're into guitar players, man, Merry Xmas, a Guitar Christmas. So that's my number 5.
Oh, that Bob Dylan was actually from 2009.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that's not long ago at all, man.
Oh.
Alrighty.
How old is Bob Dylan? He's in his 80s now, right?
He must be close to 80. I'll find out for you.
He's
Probably
got
right. Probably right.
I'll
Paul
go ahead.
McCartney.
He's got to be, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, we got,
Anyway, that's
we got some
number
Google.
5.
We can find that out.
Yeah. Googly. Number 4, man. Joe.
Alrighty. So, number 4, direct from the great state of PA, Season's Greetings from Perry Como.
Ah.
Love this album so much. Just some Perry Como's voice is one of my absolute favorites of the classic kind of traditional singers. Just of course, there's no place like home for the holidays. He does like the quintessential version of that song, and then just some great stuff. Winter Wonderland, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Oh Holy Night. He does a great version of Oh Holy Night. And then what closes this album out is like a 10-minute track where he tells the story of the first Christmas, and they interpolate like traditional hymns and stuff into it as he's telling the story. And it's a really, really cool track. But Season's Greetings from Perry Como, my number 4.
I have like this version of Perry Como album.
That's his next Christmas album.
Yeah. And looking at the back here, well, this was going to be one of my honorable mentions anyway, but I'll just show it now since you're on Perry Como, since he was one of your picks. It says back here, recorded in Webster Hall, New York City. So I don't know if it's live or just like he recorded this stuff, I guess like in the venue, probably and recorded it. I don't know if it was in front of an audience or not.
This one was as well. This one says recorded in Webster Hall, New York City.
Okay, so this is probably a repackaged, probably a different,
No, that was actually a separate album.
Oh, it's a separate one. Okay.
Yeah. This was recorded in 59. That one was 66. It's a completely different track. I have that.
Yeah, it says 68 on here. Yeah.
Or 68.
Yeah.
68. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had that vinyl too. But yeah, Toyland on that one is great.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve is a great one on that.
Yeah,
album.
Perry Como, dude, man. He did a lot of great Christmas songs too, man.
Yeah, he did.
So awesome, man. Bushy, number what were we at, 4?
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking I think I have lost my cred as Mr. Christmas with some of the obscure stuff you guys are bringing out. I guess
it's not really obscure. It's just
I'm just a Christmas whore. I like everything Christmas, and I don't take it in the way you guys do. You're like, yeah, back in 1964, this guy did this on a
on a tube cylinder.
I know, right?
No, I mean, well, that's the cool thing about doing shows like this, man. Everybody's list is going to be different. You can discover, like, I didn't know REO Speedwagon had a fucking Christmas album, dude. Now I know. So,
right, I could talk much longer on Santa Claus, but
who says this kind of stuff isn't educational?
Right.
All right, go ahead, Bushy.
Oh God, if this is educational. Mine has already been spoken of. It should have been way higher on your list, Al. But yeah, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, man.
I don't know, but which album though?
Christmas Eve and Other Stories.
There you go.
That's come on. I have 2. I have the Christmas Attic, which isn't bad, but it's not.
It's not Christmas Eve and Other Stories.
No.
There's the Ghost of Christmas Eve as well. I think that.
That's the compilation.
That's a compilation. Okay.
Lost Christmas Eve is the third one.
Yeah, that's it. I have that one too. I have that one on CD. But yeah, go
I
ahead.
have that one.
They haven't put that one out on vinyl yet.
Okay.
I got to tell you, this one wins if for no other reason. Old City Bar. There's something about that song. I get such a Billy Joel vibe off of that fucking tune, man. And like everyone's like, oh yeah, Christmas Eve Sarajevo. I mean, it's badass. And I will point people to that and say, look, listen to the guitar solo at the end. This guy's fingers are smoking,
Yeah. Freaking Al Pitrelli on that song is just.
Oh, there's just so much good stuff on there. It's a long album, but a lot of the parts are short, and it's weird because it seems like they're trying to tell a story throughout.
Yeah,
they are.
But man, there's so much good stuff. You've got a lot of traditional Christmas music in there, as far as the arrangements and such. But Old City Bar, like I said, hands down, wins the album for me. It wins the discography. I haven't heard the last one you're talking about, but
it's the one with Wizards of Winter on it,
which is okay.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not this. It's not this.
yeah,
I'll tell you that.
it's not bad. I mean, it's not like if I heard that, I'd be like, oh, screw this. But yeah, that Old City Bar alone wins this album for me.
Cool, man.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe, I was thinking it could have been a little bit higher on my list, but I don't know. It's there's so many great ones, dude. I mean,
There's so many good Christmas albums, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at my list, and I'm like, well, these are all obvious.
yeah.
Well,
All right, Andy.
I'll put it this way. Maybe Bushy doesn't even have it high enough.
It could be true.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Nice.
According to Joseph, you might be a little low on that one.
I think he's kind of Mr. Christmas now.
No one's gonna take that title from you, Mr. Christmas.
We can share it. It's a collective title.
Hey, listen,
Until you start posting on Christmas Day, that there's 365 days till Christmas, which I am guilty of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I like it every year.
I think you do.
All right, Andy, man, number 4, brother.
Yeah, I kind of already gave this one away earlier, but Christmas Time with the Chipmunks Volume 2.
There you go.
It's kind of
Good album.
because of the color of it. I got a lot of Chipmunk albums. I got Chipmunk Punk, Urban Chipmunk instead of Urban Cowboys, Urban Chipmunk.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I wore the hell out of my CD Urban Chipmunk. I don't know why. It was ridiculous
It's good, but I love it.
because I was a freaking teenager. But I loved that stupid album.
But this one really does have a lot of the classics on there. Like All I Want for Christmas is My Two Front Teeth is on here. Christmas Time is on here. Jingle Bell Rock, 12 Days of Christmas. They were really big Christmas people, and I really love the old cartoon artistry of it. It's like these days, new cartoons, they just look so blah. Back in the day, they had so much color and so much character to them. But that's my number 4 is Chipmunks Volume 2.
That's a good one. That's
All right,
a good one. I don't hate on that at all.
All right, man. My number 4, and I don't have the CD with me. It's packed away, but one of my all-time favorite bands, Cheap Trick, came out with a Christmas album called Christmas Christmas. Great album. I love it. They had a couple originals on there, and they do like Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight by the Ramones on there. They do Father Christmas by the Kinks, Run Rudolph Run. I mean, they cover all the bases on there, man. I just love Robin Zander singing Christmas songs. There's just something about it. And Rick Nielsen's fucking distorted guitar is just awesome. I love Cheap Trick. And the fact that it's funny, I had the box set that came out years before in the 90s, and they had a Christmas song on there. But they didn't release a whole Christmas album until much later on, which was cool, And one of my favorite bands, dude. And they were opening up for down here when Journey and Def Leppard toured. They're opening up for them down here in Florida, so I may go see that. But I want to see Cheap Trick. I'd rather see them headlining shows, in a smaller place. But that's just my thing. I mean, if I can't get them at a headline show, I'll probably check out that show or whatever. But yeah, Christmas, man. Cheap Trick's my number 4. Love that album, man. I don't know if any of you guys have it or not, but if you don't, check it out, man. If you like album. Cheap Trick, dude, that's it.
I was just talking to Charles Trainer earlier, messaging him today while I was at work, and I was like, man, with Cheap Trick, I don't know a lot about him. I love Budokan.
Yeah.
I like the hell out of Budokan. I got like 3 copies of that on vinyl. I love Budokan. And that's kind of, I'm a very, very casual fan. I don't hate them, and I would die to hear that damn Christmas album.
Yeah,
check it out, man.
Being a very casual fan of theirs, and now I'm all into it. I mean, full.
Look, Al's got me loving friggin' who the hell had Thin Lizzy?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
And I thought I was like, whatever. And I started listening to it. And like, what was the first album right out of the box? Whiskey in the Jar. I was like, oh, you're going to hit me with something I know that early? I was like, okay. So I was able to, to move through a little bit of that discography. And I'm like, man, I go back and listen to an album every once in a while. It's like, oh, I haven't heard this, and I'm never disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, great. I mean, when you dive, here in America, dude, it's like, it's either Boys Are Back in Town, maybe Jailbreak. That's about it. Like if you hear something on the radio by them. But when you
That
really
was exactly my entire knowledge of Thin Lizzy.
Yeah, but when you dive deep into the discography, dude, you realize what a poet, what a great lyricist Phil Lynott is, and just what a great songwriter. I mean, the songs are just fucking fantastic, dude. And
I mean,
it's just criminal, dude. That they're not known better here. You know what I mean?
And just all the amazing guitarists they had in that band.
Gary Moore. I mean, fuck, dude.
Robbo. I mean,
Gorman.
They had, I mean, just so many great. But as far as Cheap Trick, I mean, for me, it's the first album and it's Dream Police. Just two amazing, amazing albums. If anyone that isn't really into Cheap Trick, that's always what I first recommend. Listen to the first album. Listen to Dream Police. I think
Dream Police is one that I definitely have on vinyl. And Robin Zander, I gotta say, I got a couple CDs, digitally, but they released an album, man, damn, a few years ago. I think they've released one since. Don't hold me to that, guys, because
they've been pretty prolific, man. And like
I was going to say, they're pretty good about releasing music. I don't buy it all. What was the album? Oh yeah, Bang Zoom Crazy Hello.
Yeah, that's been almost 10 years now.
It's been that long? Okay, but I love that song Blood Red Lips, dude. The way Robin hit those highs still, and that was 10 years ago. I don't care. He's probably sounding just as good now.
They've done two since then.
Yeah.
Plus the Christmas album.
Plus the Christmas album? Oh, the Christmas album's that new?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like 2018, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm sold. I'll check that out.
All right. So who are we up to here?
Number 3 for me.
All right, number 3, Joe.
Alrighty. So this is a group, a very traditional Christmas group that I hear on the radio a ton, but I don't really hear people talk about much. And that is the Ray Conniff Singers, Christmas with Conniff.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Love this album so much. I mean, this is one that my dad had on CD growing up and we listened to all the time. But I mean,
that comes up on a lot of lists. I always see that on a lot of people's lists.
And they have another one that I'll talk about in a little bit, one of my honorable mentions. I just couldn't keep both of them off the list. But this is definitely my favorite of the two. And you hear a ton of this stuff on the radio. I mean, their version of Frosty the Snowman you hear on the radio a lot. You hear Sleigh Ride, Winter Wonderland, Jingle Bells, Here Comes Santa Claus. You hear all their versions of that on the radio a ton at Christmas time. And it's just such a great feel-good Christmas album. It's all... This one, they stick mainly to like secular Christmas songs. They have a couple other Christmas albums that go in a little bit more of the hymns, but I think they just do a ton of great, and the harmonies on this, the vocal harmonies that they do with both the male and female singers are just so great. And this is another one that just puts me right in the Christmas mood whenever I listen to this album.
There you go, man.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all remember this, but I'm a big Seinfeld fan. And when George Costanza meets some girl at an antique shop and takes her home, but it's really his parents' house.
Yeah.
And she's all, oh, what's this we're listening to? He says, it's the Ray Conniff Singers. She says, oh, it goes together with the rest of the house.
Yes.
Oh, that was the one when Frank Costanza found a rubber in his bed.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He tells his parents, my bed's too small.
Oh, man.
Is this a contraceptive?
Oh, man.
Well, we're gone for the weekend. You turn our house into Bourbon Street.
Seinfeld, greatest.
God, I love that show.
Oh, that show was fucking unbelievable, man.
People in the South don't like it. They don't get it.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's a very New York show.
Definitely.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, because when you'd watch it, bro, and they go to the different landmarks, you'd being from that area, you'd be like, oh, I know where the fuck they're at and shit. It's like,
I thought it was funny because nobody gets the joke. It's like, these are the 4 worst human beings.
Oh, yeah. I know.
You're not supposed to like empathize with them.
No.
When they end up in jail, when they end up in jail, you're supposed to be like, they deserve it.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's why that's so funny, because it's like, oh, they got him.
Finally. But yeah, it's like I can watch that show every day and still laugh, even though I've seen that episode 10 or 15 times. And I know the punchline's coming. I know it's coming. And I'm
True
getting
story.
ready to laugh.
Now, Andy, have you found that as you're watching it and you've seen it so many times, because I own all 9 seasons.
Yeah.
As you're watching it, have you noticed new stuff that just kind of makes you giggle and you're like, man, they were really thinking there?
Oh yeah. I've got this book called Seinfeldians, and it breaks it down because they change the writers every 2 years.
Right.
Now that I watch the episodes, I can tell the difference in the writing and the difference into different punchlines and stuff. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's
That's
great.
great. Sorry, guys. I'm a Seinfeld freaking.
Nah, dude, I love
that guy. So.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
great thing about Black Spinner. We always go off the road and we come back.
That's fine, man. I
Well,
love
we
going off.
started on how great Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is.
Yeah.
I've seen that
Oh.
a few times, and I would like to get more into it.
Dude, deep dive that shit.
Yeah.
Well, and the show.
Sorry, Mr. Al. Take over. Mr. Mariah Carey's no good.
No, I was going to mention what's his name? The show on HBO,
The Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your
Curb Your
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. That's another great one, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Larry David. You know, I keep hearing to watch the Seinfeld episode. I keep hearing that there was a reunion on that show.
there was a reunion on there. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
So
You
I
gotta
haven't
check it out.
watched the series. I got to watch it.
Yeah. All right, man. Number what were we at? 3, right?
Three
That's
with-
Bushy's
Three,
at
Bushy.
3.
Oh, Bushy's on 3?
Oh yeah, you're on 3, brother.
Oh, okay. Well, this is
So stop your
where
yapping.
I go kind of outside the box. I go metal.
Yeah.
And I know I haven't gone metal, but man, this is metal. In fact, it's the metal god. It's Halford 3 fucking winter songs, dude.
Great one, dude.
Dude, that opening track, Get Into the Spirit. Are you kidding me? Because you're listening to this and it's just kicking you in the balls.
Yeah.
And then, Halford's like almost screaming the lyrics. And that chorus, get into the spirit. I'm like, yeah, like if I don't like Christmas enough, you play a song like that, I'm ready to punch somebody just because they like bah humbug. It's such a great tune. And he does a version of my all-time favorite Christmas song, which is actually a hymn, but my favorite version is from a Claymation Christmas in the mid-'80s. But he just kicks you in the dick with it so hard, man. We Three Kings is my all-time favorite Christmas song. It is a hymn. I saw that Claymation Christmas. I got to tell you guys this story. I saw that Claymation Christmas and with those camels, Star of Wonder. Yeah, they were all like they were bebopping and shit, and it was hilarious because the 3 wise men were very traditional, singing the song. The chorus hit, the camels are going off. I was in church. We were practicing for the Christmas show, and every time we would do that song, because that was part of the program, I would just like, because that's the way the camels did it, and I would just start doing this and singing it the way the camels did. And I did it every single rehearsal. And then I got in trouble because the night of the Christmas presentation, we're up there, all of us kids, because it was some kid thing in the church, and we're singing all of our stuff, and I hate, I don't sing. You guys have heard me. I don't. Well, we get to that part where they all expect me to camel out. And I did it exactly as they did. They all started laughing, expecting me to do this stupid shit. And I got in trouble for ruining the thing. But no, Rob Halford, Halford 3 winter songs. It's great. It's metal as hell. Pick a song. It's metal as hell. I don't care. Light of the World, Oh Holy Night, Come All You Faithful, which is way better than the Twisted Sister version. It's a great tune. And for those of you that don't like Christmas music, but you do way back in the recesses of your mind, you're like, I'm too metal for Christmas. Give it a shot. It'll change your mind.
I got that CD, man. It's great. That's a great one, dude.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And Halford's awesome, bro. I mean, come on.
Come on, Metal God.
And he came out with another one like more recently. I think like some of his family's on there or something, right? I think what the hell's the name of it?
Man, I don't know nothing about that one.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, I
another
think
one,
so.
dude.
Yeah,
There's another one.
just recently he did.
Yeah, like
Wow.
Maybe right-
I'm like
maybe
curious
right before the pandemic, or even like during like the pandemic, it came out. I think Joe will look it up, but
Yeah,
But Andy, we're gonna go with what, number 3, right?
Number 3, I'm going to go ahead and leave this one out for a little bit because I think it might be mentioned later on. In fact, I'm almost sure it will be. But my number 3, John Denver and the Muppets.
I forgot about that one too, man.
This is awesome. Love it. This is the only John Denver I own. Just gotta have Kermit with me to listen to him.
No Rocky Mountain High? Come on, man.
No, I don't have that, but this starts off with the 12 Days of Christmas. You can hear everybody on this track on the 12 Days of Christmas. It's great.
Cool.
And it's so odd to hear the Muppets now because the voices sound all fucked up. Because this is the classic.
It's so bad listening to the Muppets now. It's horrible.
It's
Brian Henson, I love you, but you're not Jim.
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
ever since they fired Steve Whitmire, Kermit sounds so bad.
Oh, so bad. So that's the great one with Jim Henson and Frank Oz and the Muppets with John Denver as my number 3.
Joe, did you figure out that Halford album?
Yeah, it's called Celestial.
Celestial, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's another like holiday, I guess Christmas or seasonal kind of album that he came out. You might, I don't know, man. I didn't never heard that one, so I don't know if it's in the same vein as Winter Songs, but
It's billed as Rob Halford with family and friends or something
yeah.
like that.
I wonder if you want like a little more traditional. I don't know. Who knows, man? I don't know. I have to check it out. I have to stream it. I never heard it, so anyway, my number 3. I'm going another one of my favorite bands, the Pride of New Jersey. Here, most of you guys know that I love this band a lot, and they have their own Christmas album, Smithereens. Christmas with the Smithereens. Great rocking album, dude. If you like, much like Cheap Trick, dude. You know, I kind of, you know, for me, Cheap Trick and Smithereens kind of have a similar trajectory. I've seen them both on the same bill actually, which is great, dude. I mean, it was a great show. It was those two bands plus like Parliament Funkadelic, the Fab Four was on there. So it was like,
Man,
you know,
I'm losing my mind over Parliament Funkadelic, dude.
yeah, they were on the bill, man. Los Lobos was on there, and I mean, when you hear Los Lobos, everybody thinks about La Bamba, but they're an amazing band as well. Actually, they're really good, man. You know.
By the way, Scribble, that's a great fucking song, dude.
And that is Gayla Peavy.
Oh,
Scribble. Gayla.
Okay, then.
So anyway, the Smithereens album. So they have a whole Christmas album. They do Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me, Merry Christmas Baby, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, Christmas Time All Over the World. I mean, they do traditional. They do some even that they wrote themselves. So if you've never heard it, it's great to throw on at Christmas time, stream it, whatever. But if you like rocking Christmas, man, you know, they're really good. I mean, they're not heavy metal. They're just good straight up rock and roll, dude. You know, so that's gonna be my number 3. I love that album a lot too, and I have the CD of that as well. And I don't have it with me, but now we get to number 2, Joseph.
Alrighty. So I'm going to be leaving everyone in anticipation for a few minutes about what my number 1 is, because this is my number 2.
Yeah, there you go.
What a freaking album. I mean, one of the greatest moments of my life was in 2021 getting to see them do this entire album live.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, right from the beginning with An Angel Came Down into Oh Come All You Faithful, Oh Holy Night, which is one of my favorite instrumentals they do.
Oh,
A Star to Follow with the great kind of round vocals. First Snow, Mad Russians Christmas, Prince of Peace. I love the vocals on that.
yes.
Into Christmas Eve Sarajevo, absolutely classic. And then the second, it's a double vinyl and it opens up with all the lyrics and everything. The second disc is what really hits home for me. It starts out with Good King Joy, great interpolation of Joy to the World with a kind of a bluesier number.
Yeah.
And then the sort of mini part of the story that is Ornament, First Noel, Old City Bar, Promises to Keep, and my absolutely favorite track on this album, This Christmas Day.
Oh,
What?
man. You're right.
Freaking.
On this Christmas Day.
And the past couple of years, getting to see Russell Allen sing that song, he absolutely knocks it out of the park. Anyone who knows Symphony X or Adrenaline Mob,
He's phenomenal, man.
Absolutely amazing singer, and he hits that one out of the park. And then, of course, closing up with An Angel Returned and two little instrumentals at the end, but just anyone who discounts, especially a lot of Savatage fans, who discount this because Savatage doesn't exist anymore, you are missing out so much.
Yes.
This is still those musicians. It's still John Oliva and Paul O'Neill writing amazing songs. And it's still those same musicians playing on these great tracks. And you still get to hear all that amazing musicianship with all these great guest vocalists coming in. And it's just so, so good. And probably one of my favorite groups to see live. I've seen them 4 times. Every year they get better and better. And it's just...
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much like that they've grown, man. Like,
oh yeah.
I remember when they started doing the Christmas show. Like, it was, they weren't packing out arenas yet. They were
playing bars.
Yeah, like small clubs or theaters, but as the years have gone on, it's become like such a big. I mean, people bring their families. And,
oh yeah, I see people coming in walkers and wheelchairs to this thing. Like,
dude, they probably have more pyro and everything, more than Kiss does, man. I mean,
yeah.
It's freaking, it's freaking amazing, man.
Setting fire bombs off. I don't know. I'm assuming they're probably going to do it with the West show this year as well. One of the things that they did, I'm trying to remember. I think it was during Queen of the Winter Night. Look towards the back of the arena. You'll see what I'm talking about. They do something really cool during that song.
Okay. All right. Last year, when I saw them up in New Jersey, I actually had and I only had it because I didn't buy them. I got them for free, but I had third row tickets, and to really see a TSO show, it's really meant to see a bit farther back because you want to see the show. But that being said, it's kind of cool. Once in a while, it was kind of a cool, different experience to see them up close too. I mean, Joe Hoekstra was playing right in front of me, and I caught one of his guitar picks, which was really cool. And they kind of would interact with the audience a bit, getting close and stuff.
Oh yeah, we always get. There's always a big group of us, some family friends that go, and we always get pretty close.
Yeah.
One of them is one of our family friends. She's in part of the fan club, so she gets the pre-sale tickets.
Yeah.
So we're able to get really close, and it's great because they, like you said, they interact with you. Chris Caffrey running around shouting at people and stuff, and it's such a great, exactly. He's trying to rile everybody up, and just you can tell they love what they're doing, and it's just so amazing to see.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. So that's your 2.
That's my number 2.
Bushy, man. Let's go, brother.
Oh man,
top 2, baby.
After you sold that amazing album that even I put too high.
Yeah, now I feel bad. I put really, really high.
I know, right? You should just hang yourself.
Well, listen, man. Yeah, well, is there a fucking rope?
Get those Christmas neckties.
Man, Joe really sold that album. Holy shit! If you haven't heard that record, go listen to that record because
it's a testament. I mean, three of us have it on our list.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Andy's odd man out.
Yeah, it is. Because I don't know that much about
Trans-Siberian
Mannheim
Tr-
Steamroller.
tr-
If I got, you see, I got this one from 1984.
this is Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh, this is different then. Well, that's why I was all like, what the hell are they talking about?
Andy, that is such a good fucking joke, dude. That was I got this Mannheim Steamroller. That was great.
I am ungoingly funny. Thank you.
Oh, that's like literally the funniest thing I've heard you say. That was great.
All those times that I really try and you don't laugh.
No, you got me on that. That was gorgeous, dude. Great joke. Mine is, look, Al was talking earlier about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Come on, Burl Ives.
Oh yeah.
Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. What
I watch it every year, man.
1965. Oh, dude. Title track. Christmas is a Birthday, which I think is an unsung hero in this damn album. He does a great version of White Christmas. He's such a crooner. Like everyone's like, oh, Gene Autry, he did Rudolph. I'm like, yeah, but dumbasses. He didn't do a stop motion photography Christmas special with Burl Ives singing the song. I heard the Bells on Christmas Day is, top 10 Christmas song for me. It's an amazing album. And yes, you have to like the crooners. You have to like very specific traditional Christmas music. But when you're talking about that stuff, you got Sinatra, you got Perry Como, you have these amazing vocalists, but nobody holds a candle to Burl Ives.
Burl's the man, bro.
Is his version of It Came Upon a Midnight Clear on that album?
Yes, it is.
That's on a compilation I have. I love that track.
That's a good one. We sing that a lot in church, and I'm not even a church guy anymore, but that was always one of those that came up as a request at Christmas time. It's a great album.
Love Burl Ives, man. That's like, to me that's my favorite Christmas special. I mean, I watch that every year, man. That with Burl Ives like
narrating the whole thing, and he's silver and gold.
It just brings me back to when my daughter was really young, we started watching it. It's become a tradition, like me and her and my wife, we watch it, and just like watching her watch it when she was so young, like brought me back. It was like, because I remember like the earliest
exact same thing with your parents, dude.
Yeah. I remember the earliest memories of me watching Christmas specials was watching that, and Rudolph was so cute with the glow nose and all that.
Yes.
And the bullies bullying, and it taught lessons and things like that. So it was cool, man. I love it. And Burl Ives, man, he just has that voice. Like when I hear it, man, it just makes me feel like fucking warm inside, bro.
Oh yeah. Best version of that particular song in general, Have a Holly Jolly Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't care who does it.
It'll never be.
You hear it, it's like, no, that's Burl Ives.
Yeah.
And it could be because we grew up watching Rudolph.
Yeah.
But man, that is the definitive version of that song. And there's so many good things on that album. Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. Burl Ives.
Awesome.
There's only one that tops it, dude. And for me.
Great pick, brother. Andy, go ahead. Number 2, man.
Yeah, number 2. I've got about 5 of these. They made several of them, but the first one will always be my favorite. And
Trans-Siberian Mannheim. Wow. I'm just kidding.
But the very first, a very special Christmas.
Yes.
Yes. That one.
I remember that very well. That's a great compilation. I remember that when it came out.
It's got the Pointer Sisters, the Eurythmics, Whitney Houston, Run DMC, U2, Madonna,
Christmas in Hollis.
And I've always, one of my songs is always The Little Drummer Boy. I've always loved that song. This one's done by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm pretty sure you can hear Bob Seger singing Little Drummer Boy. He really does a really good version of that. Bryan Adams does Run Rudolph.
Yeah.
Santa's got to make it to town. Stevie Nicks ends it with Silent Night. And I Saw Mama Kissing Santa Claus by John Cougar Mellencamp. And this also has the Bruce Springsteen Merry Christmas Baby on it. So, man, this was just so good. So I got this one. And then I got the others, and there's a
bunch of volumes now, right?
Yeah, there's about 5 that I've got. I don't know how many actually get up to. But yeah, very special Christmas.
Yeah, but I remember that first one. I remember my brother getting that on because I came out in did I come out in like the late 80s?
Late 80s. It was a big hit. Big hit.
My brother got it on CD, so it was like one of the earlier CDs that he got. And I remember he got that, man. We used to listen to that all the time. I loved that compilation. And that actually made my my honorable. I was gonna put that in my honorable mentions, but I'm glad you brought that up because I was actually toying with putting that in my top 10, but I didn't, but I'm glad you got that in there, man. So that's cool then. So my number 2, I'm going full on metal with this one. It's another compilation, and it's called "We Wish You a Metal Christmas and a Headbanging New Year."
Oh wow!
Yeah, so this has got, and I'm going to run down the track list on here. It's got the who's who of hard rock and metal, man. I mean, like it's really. So let's go here. We got speaking of Jeff Scott Soto, "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." He's like the first track on here with Bruce Kulick, Bob Kulick, a bunch of people. "Run Rudolph Run" by Lemmy. I love that version, man. That Lemmy sings "Run Rudolph Run." It's just perfect. It's him and Billy Gibbons actually, and Dave Grohl. So it's a trio.
Oh wow!
Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Alice Cooper. "God Rest Ye Gentlemen" by Ronnie James Dio. "Silver Bells" by Jeff Tate. "Little Drummer Boy" by Doug Pinnick, George Lynch, Billy Sheehan. "Santa Claus is Back in Town." Tim Ripper Owens, Steve Morse. "Silent Night," Chuck Billy from Testament, Scott Ian.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt you. What album is this?
"We Wish You a Metal Christmas and a Headbanging New Year."
Wish You a Metal Christmas. You know what? I'm looking through my Christmas folder.
Yeah.
And it's "We Wish You a Metal Xmas," right?
Yeah, "We Wish You a Metal Xmas." Yes.
Yeah. Dude, I got that bitch. That's a badass album.
Yeah, it's a great compilation. So Deck the Halls, Oni Logan. "Grandma Got Ran Over by Reindeer" by Stephen Pearcy of Rat. "Rocking Around a Christmas Tree" by Joe Lynn Turner. Wow. And then Tommy Shaw does "Happy Christmas, War is Over." And then the cool thing is I got this CD from WSOU, which is, I've talked about this station before. It's a college radio station, Seton Hall, in South Orange, New Jersey. And when I got the CD from them, I opened it up, and it has like all the who's on the CD there. And if you notice, like some of these guys have autographs on here. It's actually autographed. Look at like Ronnie James Dio right here. He autographed it.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So it's got Chuck Billy's autograph, Ronnie James Dio's autograph, Craig Goldie, who's in Dio's band, Bob and Bruce Kulick, Oni Logan, Tim Ripper Owens signed it, Rudy Sarzo, Jeff Tate, Simon Wright, and Billy Sheehan. So it's got like all the
badass because
it's got all the autographs in here, man. I'm like,
all I have is a digital copy. You got a CD?
I got a CD, man. I love. This is one of my. I mean, when I go full on metal on Christmas, this is one of my favorites. And
that's a good one, dude. I like I said, I own that album digitally.
Yeah. The one thing, and he doesn't have a full on Christmas album, but if he did, I would have put it on here. But I would have put King Diamond, "No Presents for Christmas."
Oh, come on. I wish you would do a whole Christmas album.
I mean,
that'd be amazing.
Come on, King Diamond, let's go, man. Full on Christmas album. Let's go.
He won't even put out a full regular album.
I know.
What is that song? Typo Negative. Red Water. Christmas Morn, not MORN. Like,
yeah, but MOURN.
MOURN. Dude, it's such a good song. Like, if you could have blended King Diamond and Typo Negative at that time,
yeah,
how nasty would that have been? I mean, there would be no Christmas anymore because we'd all killed ourselves.
No presents for Christmas, man.
You got no presents.
The cover of that with
Negative.
Rudolph.
They're talking about, where one sat 12, only 7 are here or some shit like that. It's the most depressing song in the world, and I love it. Like if we were doing like top 10 Christmas songs, Red
that would-
Water Christmas Morn would be up there.
Yeah. All right, man. So
funny.
as Andy would do, number one,
Yes.
my partner over there. So I'm gonna go with Joe. You're number one, brother.
Alrighty. So this album to me is an absolute masterpiece. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. And this is the one I was talking about earlier when Andy was talking about like instrumentals and arrangements and stuff. I think this is one of the best arranged albums of all time. And it's by someone who's known to be an amazing arranger of music. And his sister is one of the greatest singers God ever put on this earth. And she was taken away from us way too soon. And that is the Carpenters' Christmas Portrait.
Wow.
What a freaking album. I mean, from start to finish, this album to me is like an experience to listen to because a lot of the tracks like bleed into each other because the arrangements kind of flow from song to song. So you just sit down and you just put this album on and it's just amazing. I mean, it starts off with a little acapella O Come O Come Emmanuel into this like 7-minute long instrumental overture of all these great Christmas songs blending together. It's so cool. Their version of Sleigh Ride is amazing. Karen Carpenter singing the Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire is just so beautiful. Silent Night, Jingle Bells, the first snowfall into Let It Snow. Merry Christmas, Darling is one of my absolute favorite songs ever written, and I think it is so beautiful. And Karen Carpenter is just
her voice
probably in my top 10 vocalist of all time, male or
This
female.
is a beautiful voice, great voice, man.
And then leading through the last couple of tracks, Christ is Born, into a beautiful rendition of Ave Maria to close out the album.
Really? I gotta check that.
Beautiful.
I love Ave Maria.
The one thing I'll say, if you can't find it on vinyl, you have to be very careful about how you buy it on CD. If you buy this album on CD, they messed it up, and I hate them for it. In like the late 80s, I think they released a special edition where they cut like half this album out and put a bunch of tracks in from their second Christmas album, which is okay, but it's not nearly as good. So now the only way to get the original full album on CD is if you get this. It's called the Christmas Collection, and it has both of their Christmas albums on it. It's a 2-disc set.
Okay.
So it has both of the albums, and it has
In
the
their
full-
entirety?
Yes, and it has
Okay,
the
cool.
full original version of Christmas Portrait on it, and that's the only way to listen to the album to me. You have to listen to the original version, the original vinyl version. And it's actually not bad to get on CD. It's only like $10 on CD.
Cool.
It's a really, really great investment. My absolute favorite Christmas album of all time.
That's awesome.
At my wedding, the choir sang Ave Maria before the end of our marriage, before the end of our wedding. Ugh. But I was
Was that a
Whoops.
Freudian slip? I had to turn my mic on. I was like, wait, what?
at the end of the ceremony. But it's her brother that did all that arrangements, right?
Yes. Oh,
Like,
yes.
for everything.
Oh, yeah. He
Did all that.
He did all the like the conducting and the arranging, and he played a lot of the piano and stuff. And what an ear for arrangement. I mean, you listen to even any of their non-Christmas songs, you listen to some of their great, like They Long to Be Close to You and like Rainy Days and Mondays and all that stuff. The arrangements on it are just so amazing, and he had such an ear for that stuff. And I think his style of arranging works so perfectly for a Christmas album because it's so full. The instruments are so full, and it just, if one album sounds like Christmas to me, it's this album. I mean, it's just.
Gotta check it out. And didn't he stop like after she passed?
He did for a while, but he put some stuff out after she passed. He kept going. He goes back every. I think like a couple of years ago that he released an album where he conducted an orchestra to some of their songs.
Okay.
He went back and used a lot of like the original master tapes of some of their stuff and
wow.
added an orchestra to it. So he goes back every now and then. He's also done production for a lot of other bands and stuff as well.
Okay.
I gotta say, man, like, and for some people who don't, you know, everybody kind of snickers sometimes. Karen Carpenter, drummer, or whatever. Dude, I saw a YouTube clip of her the other day.
She's a freaking beast.
Dude, she was doing a drum solo, like very jazz and like,
Mhm.
I mean, she was like fucking ripping it up. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I had to like kind of like look back and I had to watch it again, man, because she was so good. And I mean, like jazz soloing, like just
in like traditional grip and everything.
Yeah, traditional grip. I mean,
she's got the one hand. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think I watched that same video, Al, like 3 months ago. It popped up. Like,
yeah, that's like about 3 months ago. Yeah,
yeah. I was like, Karen fucking Carpenter, what?
drum solo, like I was like,
yeah, they killed it.
Yeah,
I was like
wow,
a tom,
man.
a hi-hat, a bass, and a snare.
Yeah. Like the most like simple drum set you've ever seen, and she just absolutely rips it.
Yep.
Like Buddy Rich was like he was a curmudgeon, and you know everybody was pretty much beneath him. But I think even he would have to give it up to her, bro. If he you know saw her do that or whatever, and I'm sure he probably did back in the day. But you know, I mean, come on, man, she was like just incredible, dude. I was like, wow,
it was.
And
it was
to have that voice and those drum skills is insane.
Yeah.
Like to just have one of those is crazy, but to have both of them and that people don't know her to be able to play the drums like that.
You know, it's funny. It's funny that you picked the Carpenters because I just happen to have this album out. It's this album here, and it opens up like you know. But I'm just gonna go into a little thing with this. You know, just getting off topic a little bit. This was my wife's aunt's when she passed away. We got to go to her house and we got to take a few things. You know, she wanted her family to have and. Knowing that I was a vinyl collector and music lover, like I got all her vinyl. So this is one of the things that in her collection. And it's funny when I opened it up, there's actually a program in here from a concert that they did in 1972, 1973, something like that.
Oh, that's the program.
Yeah. So like, this is like a concert program, right? And then when you then inside there was the Garden State Arts Center, which is the PNC Bank Arts Center. Wow. And this is like a program from that they would probably just hand out to patrons from like 1973, dude. So it's got like the directory, and then it's got like another little thing here, like the Carpenters and whatever, Skies and Henderson that I guess maybe opened up for them. And I was like, dude, this is like such a time capsule right here, you know. And she like wrote down in here like her aunt wrote down here like 1973, you know, Nancy Ayers, you know, that's her name and stuff. So I was like, wow, dude, this is really cool, you know, like to open an album up and find like this stuff in here, you know. It's got like the fan club, Carpenter's fan club thing in here. It's really cool, dude. So it's like a nice artifact, you know. It's like kind of going back.
That's pretty badass, and I am not a Carpenters fan. That is it is badass, and I have that album. I don't have all the goodies. Yeah.
Oh, that was just she just happened to stick it in the album and probably was in there since like the mid 70s, you know. So cool. She did that. She had another album by Brenda Lee. She had a bunch of Brenda Lee albums, and in one of the albums, Brenda Lee actually wrote back to her, like she joined her fan club, and there's a handwritten letter by Brenda Lee to my wife's aunt, dude. So I have a handwritten letter. Like, you know,
that is badass.
I guess she wrote to her like for her fan club and she wrote back to her. So it's really cool. It's like kind of cool shit. Like I found like these albums, like when you buy a used album, sometimes you find like kind of something cool in there, you know? So, anyway, I got a little.
Is that the greatest hits album, Andy?
Yeah. Yeah, this is that.
That is another one of my all-time favorite albums. That particular greatest hits album.
And like Al was saying, this one actually did have the little book that comes with it as well, with all the lyrics.
Wow.
Inside of it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I think I paid $1 for this. It's her voice, man.
How can you go wrong with that, man?
Yeah, dude, how people just not want it anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, their loss is our gain, bro. You know?
Yeah.
All right, number 1, Bushy, man. I know we're getting late here.
Number 1. this is my all-time favorite Christmas album. I cannot sell it nearly as well as Joe just sold that Carpenter's Christmas album. But this is the greatest thing ever. There's only one song that I do not like, but it's because I do not like that song. 12 Days of Christmas. I've never liked it. I don't like cute, artsy, fartsy, stupid songs. And I know that contradicts my love of The Cure. Okay, I'm okay with that. But 12 Days of Christmas, it's annoying. Okay, annoying at best. But man, John Denver and the Muppets, A Christmas Together, is the greatest Christmas album of all time. Ralph the Dog, who I believe is Frank Oz, singing "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas."
There it is again.
The Peace Carol. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. John Denver's vocals from a man, that's got to be the prettiest vocal ever, like ever. Then you got Christmas Is Coming, which is they sing it in a round, and it's funny, it's silly because this is based on what on a TV special they did.
Yeah, like 82, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Baby Just Like You, is a song of peace and hope. I can't remember if this song was on the original album because I don't have my album with me. It's in my fucking record thing.
No, he's got it.
Which song?
When the River Meets the Sea, because I know that's Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Mm-hmm. It might be on the. I
But
know they
on my
released that
digital
CD.
copy.
Oh no,
They released.
Oh no, it's here when the river meets the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know they
Well,
released the CD with like bonus tracks and stuff too.
Yeah. Well, see, that's my problem because I remember having the album as a kid, and I have that same album now. I had to search far and wide to find the damn thing.
You open it up and you got the whole
Yeah, you got,
roof.
dude, it's a beautiful album.
Yeah.
But when you bought the CD, Little Saint Nick by Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem was not on the on the album, and I was furious about it. You know what I mean? But there's so many great songs, and it has what is my favorite, absolute favorite version of Silent Night. Where they sing it in German.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Denver comes on and he tells the entire story about how that song even came to fruition. And then they close out with, all the Muppet singers who, I'm sorry, credit where credit's due, an amazing group of vocalists.
Oh, big time.
The greatest recorded version of Silent Night ever. A very fun album because you have the goofy Muppet stuff because we all grew up on the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
And John Denver's gorgeous voice. One of my favorite voices of all time, but I can never talk about him because he's not rock, he's not metal, he's folk, he's in the mountains of Colorado, whatever, eating granola, strapping on Uggs or something. I don't know. Or crashing into mountains. I don't know. But one of the most beautiful male voices I've ever heard. So soothing. Conveying so much emotion. Dude, I'm sorry. John Denver and the Muppets. I know it's silly as fuck. But it is my all-time favorite Christmas album.
That's passionate right there, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I love this record.
Well,
And
and
it had to be Joe. I mean, Joe, man, he sold the Carpenters.
well,
I'm trying to give you a sock puppet.
the thing that you mentioned, Bushy, about I had that CD when I first got that album. I had the CD, and not only did it cut 3 of the best songs on the album. It cut "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," It
Yes.
cut When the River Meets the Sea, and it cut
Yes.
Little Saint Nick.
Yes.
And then they finally, a couple years later, put out the full album on CD. I got that one too. So now I
That's
have two
awesome.
copies, one with the full album, one without the full album. But I absolutely agree. It's an amazing album.
It's so much fun because you got your stupid shit. You know, you need that. Come on. We all grew up, all of us. Well, how old are you, Joe?
24.
24. Okay, you didn't. We grew up.
I gotta give it up to Joe though, man, because Joe loves a lot of great stuff, man. I mean,
He does,
he's
but
an old-
he didn't
got a
grow
little
up
soul,
with it.
man.
He discovered it, which is awesome.
Well, no, I did grow up with. Were you saying the Muppet Show and stuff?
No, I was going to go into some stupid songs, you know, like the Italian Donkey Christmas song.
Oh, I knew all that stuff growing up. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. What were your parents like? 38?
Yeah.
Wow. That's so awesome. But I think of all these stupid Christmas songs, and Joe, you're an exception, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Young people don't know the fun of those stupid Christmas songs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Italian donkey song, Dominic. Was it
Dominic
Dominic?
Donkey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
All
so
over Christmas is my two front teeth. You know,
I'm-
all these.
I'm
stupid-
getting nothing for
I'm getting nothing
Christmas.
for Christmas, yes. All these great stupid Christmas songs that are only on compilations.
I have a couple of them.
Greatest thing ever.
Snoopy's
great,
Christmas.
You rule for 24. Oh my
24.
God, he hasn't even had sex yet.
Oh,
Right.
come on now.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right, so your number one's John Denver.
Yeah, and the Muppets a Christmas together.
Yes. All right, Andy.
Yeah, you all mentioned this one here, the Charlie Brown Christmas trio. We've all mentioned it. It's not my number one though.
Damn, Andy hit with 2 tonight. 2.
This is my number one. It is the Charlie Brown Christmas, the whole show.
Oh.
It's the whole dialogue. It's a whole episode of
Yeah, on an album. Yeah,
yeah, it's on album, and it's awesome. You know,
That's
you hear,
great.
you hear Snoopy boo when they introduce Charlie as the director. Boo! And it's got all the different sound effects. You know, the tapping of the penguin, the real estate joke, just everything is on here. And I've always loved to watch this ever since I was a kid. And now you got to be on some kind of streaming device to watch
Apple
it.
TV Plus.
Apple TV, yeah. Well, not me. I throw this on, and I hear it the old-fashioned way.
That's why I have the Blu-ray.
This is awesome.
That's everything I like about that Chipmunk album I talked about earlier, my number 5.
Exactly.
Same
It's the
thing.
Same thing. You know, it tells the whole story. It's got all of the original voices because it's the original thing. It's starring. It tells you right here, starring Charlie Brown, Linus, Lucy Schroeder, Pigpen, and Snoopy. So, yeah. So
Nice.
this is my number one.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
On Christmas.
I didn't even know that existed. That's also so awesome.
it's probably got the teacher on there too. Like wah.
Yeah, it does. It's the whole episode from beginning to end. You can hear him walking to the mailbox and for a Christmas card and rats.
Yeah.
The good old.
That's great.
That's awesome.
It's my number one.
That's awesome. I love it.
All right, man.
Greatest Christmas special of all time.
It really is.
Yeah, I'll put that up there, man. That's definitely top 5 for me.
And it's got that great classic Linus speech,
Oh yeah,
that tells you what Christmas is all about. And
absolutely.
And that's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lights.
All right, man. My number one, and I, growing up, and this was such a big part of my childhood. I mean, my parents, really loved this artist, especially my mom. What woman didn't really love this artist? And And I mean, what can I say? He's had a bunch of different kind of versions of Christmas album. We touched on them before, and I got a couple of them. It's Elvis Christmas. I mean, just Elvis singing Christmas to me it brings me back to my youth growing up. So I have a couple of different ones. I mean, I got that one. I got this one we talked about with the mountain behind them. And then this is like the kind of the latest one. It's a Walmart one, like Merry Christmas Baby. But I'm ultimately the compilation that I'm going with, the album that I'm going with by him is actually one that I have on CD here. It's in a long kind of box here. This came out and this compiled every single Christmas song that he did.
Oh wow!
On one package. On one CD.
What?
Yeah, and the cool thing is that when you open this up, it becomes Graceland.
Dude,
that's cool.
right.
That is awesome.
Like Graceland in wintertime, man. So it's like, so it's a pop-up. And then on the side here, the CD comes out here. This where the CD's at,
That's like the coolest fucking thing ever, dude.
Yeah, dude, I had to like bust this one out, man. But it's got like every one of his. It's even got like unreleased alternate takes of like ones that he did. So really combined like all the stuff that's been released over the years. So if you want like one complete package, I mean, this is kind of the one to get. It's If Every Day Was Like Christmas.
I love that song.
Dude,
that's my favorite of his Christmas songs. I love that song.
Man,
no one ever talks
so
about that.
Good.
And just growing up, man, I mean, growing up, my parents had the old albums, which I had here, and but then like I actually what it was is I bought my mom this for Christmas, and then she in recent years she's given it back to me and stuff. She's like, you have it now. You love music. I mean, my mom's 81 now, so it's like kind of whatever I play around the house. Like she likes it and stuff. So, but I love the fact I never get rid of this, man, with the pop-up Graceland. It's just so cool.
That's so awesome.
So that's my number one, man. And I want to thank you guys for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Joseph, you got anything to plug?
Do we want to do our honorable mentions?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. What am I doing, man? Yeah. We're supposed to do like 5 honorable mentions. If you have 5, if you don't have 5, doesn't matter. We'll go around real quick. Joe, you can go through all of them and then we'll go around.
Sounds good. So this is the other Ray Conniff Christmas album, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Has my favorite version of Nate's least favorite Christmas song on it. They do a great version of 12 Days of Christmas on here. Ring Christmas Bells. They do a great medley of Let It Snow and Count Your Blessings. Just a great, great album. Second only to Christmas with Conniff as my favorite Ray Conniff Christmas album. I got Kenny and Dolly Once Upon a Christmas.
I have that on vinyl.
Oh, that's cool.
Great medley of Winter Wonderland and Sleigh Ride. I'll Be Home with Bells on. Christmas to Remember. Hard Candy Christmas. Just a bunch of great tracks on there.
When I was a kid, I thought they were husband and wife.
Well, yeah, between that and Islands in the Stream, you would think.
And they did a Christmas special together or something, right?
Yeah, Christmas to Remember, I think.
Yeah.
A more recent one, Carrie Underwood, My Gift. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful album. It has a lot of like really traditional carols on it, but I think her voice is just absolutely amazing. It's a really, really good Christmas album. Another one that you hear on the radio a lot, well, the next two, Celine Dion, These Are Special Times, featuring a Christmas song written by Dee Snider that no one knew was by Dee Snider.
Wow. Even
Celine Dion didn't know it was by Dee Snider until all the years later when she realized that it said D. Snider next to the track. And now he and his wife call their house the house that Celine built because of all the money that he got from that one song.
I can only imagine, man.
How many times platinum this album went, all the money he got from that one song. And then actually a couple, I think 2 years ago, Dee Snider and Lizzie Hale did a version of it that he put out, and it's amazing. The Magic of Christmas Day, God Bless Us Everyone, amazing track. But Celine Dion, These Are Special Times, great Christmas album. And then my last honorable mention is Josh Groban, Noel. This is the special edition that has the two most famous Christmas songs he did, which are Believe and his version of O Holy Night, which weren't actually on this album. They were singles beforehand. And so when he put out the special edition a couple of years ago, they finally put them on the album so that everyone would buy it. But those are my 5 honorable mentions.
Cool. Very good. Nate, go ahead. We got honorables.
Sorry, had to hit the button. I have some honorables. I don't have as many. Twisted Sister's Christmas album gets an honorable mention just because it's fucking stupid. A Very Metal Christmas, though, is a great Christmas album compilation. It's got Helix, Pretty Boy Floyd, George Lynch, Paul Di'Anno. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff on here. Typical older rock stars rocking up, Christmas songs. You got the Let Me Kill Mr. Shit and all that. Just can't get enough. I got to tell you about this album. This album is a compilation album that was released. I only found it in Germany as a young kid. It's got all kinds of crazy bands on the Pogues, Squeeze, Los Lobos.
Oh, wow.
But it's also got from the Christmas special, Bing Crosby and David Bowie, Peace on Earth.
Oh, wow, they stuck that in there.
Yeah, they stuck that in there. It's yeah, it's a great album. Little Drummer Boy, Peace on Earth. It's fun. It's very obscure. It's hard to find, but yeah, that's a favorite of mine.
Cool.
Awesome.
Andy.
This Christmas CD stays in my wife's car. She plays it every Christmas. It's the Michael Bublé Christmas. Is very good.
I hate that album.
You hate it? Oh my god, I love it.
I hate his voice. I hate his
I'm
voice.
not a big fan of his either, to be honest, but that's fine.
It's a really good album. And the Mariah Carey one that I like as well. Also,
Yes.
a little bit old school or very old school, Johnny Mathis.
That's a good one.
Johnny Mathis. And also, this is a compilation from back in the day. It's called A Gift of Christmas. I don't know if y'all are familiar with this one, but this one has Malia Jackson on it, Barbara Streisand. It also has I thought it had Robert Goulet is on here and Tony Bennett.
I have a CD that's like the updated version of that.
Oh, really? Is it?
Because it has all the same artists that you just mentioned.
Yeah, The Gift of Christmas. I really do need to find more and more Christmas albums because I pretty much shared everything that I have, which, I really need to find a lot more, like those Perry Cuomos. I see them all the time, like for cheap. And then the same thing with the Raycon of Singers and all sorts of Christmas stuff. And for years, I've just passed things up. So.
Oh yeah, I have 3 different Perry Como Christmas vinyls that are all different albums. Same thing with Raycon. If I have 3 different ones that are all different albums, and they're all great. I mean, they're all great albums.
But that Carpenters one, man, I know I see that
Definitely
all the time, and I just skip it up and just keep fuck Christmas albums. But now that I'm older, I want them all.
All right, man. Well. Couple of them. I got Johnny Cash Christmas here. This was like recently released on Walmart. It's on green vinyl. There'll Be Peace in the Valley. We're gonna go with the Elf soundtrack.
Oh, dude, I love that movie. It's a really good movie.
That's on picture disc, so it's cool. You know. Frank Sinatra, bro. Have yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I mean, growing up in New Jersey, Frank Sinatra was a staple, Give it up for Bob and Doug McKenzie, 12 Days of Christmas.
Yes, dude.
This was like a record store day 12 single or 45, which is cool, That's really it, man. And my favorite Christmas song, I mean, it's not an album, but I love Greg Lake, I Believe in Father Christmas. There was an EP that he put out with that song. I think there's a couple different versions of that song on there. One with like ELP and then one of him solo and stuff like that. So I love that song, man.
There was
album, right? The white.
It was originally on. He originally released it as a single solo, and then when they were putting out Works Volume 2,
That's it.
they re-recorded it with the rest of the band and they
Yeah.
put it out on that. It's slightly different. I prefer the solo version that they play
Yeah,
on the
me too.
radio.
Yeah.
But both versions, I mean, it's an amazing song.
Yeah, I love that. That's probably my favorite Christmas song of all time, you know. And that's really it, man. Those are my honorables there. Cheech and Chong, Santa and his old lady too. Love that one.
And his old lady. Hey, don't disturb Santa Claus.
Hey, Santa man. So that's the show, man. I appreciate you guys coming on, man. Joe, you got anything to plug?
Yeah, so I'm
shows you're gonna be
sure
on?
I talked about it before. Starting soon, me and Charles Trainer and Travis Parada are starting up a show
Cool.
called What's the Story? So we're going to be doing that here hopefully soon after the holiday, getting that all started up. I know we're getting some episodes in the can to kind of get our feet wet on it and having some guests on. So I'm sure all of you will be on at some point or another if you would like. So
Cool, I'd love to.
yeah, we're just trying to, have some fun, talk about some music.
So it's all about
as we like to do. As
So
we
it's
like
all
to
about
do.
Out for Charles that I'll be on there whenever y'all need me.
Nate, what do you got to plug, brother?
Oh man, this weekend, Saturday, December 23rd, I am doing my last radio show ever
I gotta be there.
That metal station?
on that metal station.
Yeah.
I am going to another station. I'm gonna take a little time off and relax. But yeah, I'm doing my last show on that metal station. We're closing down after 10 years. And it is what it is. I'm trying to put together like this just super insane heavy show. And then I got people like Mark Taylor messaging me, I want to hear some Nelson. And I'm like, fuck, I want to go out with a bang. And I love Nelson, but
Bushy, he just can't live without your love and affection.
I'm telling you, he wants to hear Steamroller. I know what he wants to hear. I have that song. Nobody else has that song.
There's a song called Steamroller.
Yeah.
I've seen them live and I don't know that song.
Only I have that song. I'm telling you, true story. But yeah, I'm doing my last show this weekend. Apparently, I've also started another podcast. I didn't think I did, but one accidental upload, and Dr. Fuck, aka Ralph Vieira, loved it so much that apparently Hanging with Bushy is now a podcast. So check that out. That is my YouTube page. But I did, bass players are funny because my old bass player is. Look, I'm sorry to use this kind of language, but we're all grown here except for Joe.
Hey, I got a big boy job.
They're fucking retarded, okay? And I know you're not allowed to say that word anymore, but bass players are fucking stupid. So I accidentally, drunkenly uploaded this to my Hanging with Bushy page, which has a whole bunch of different stupid stuff on there. Instead of the Plug podcast page. And then Charles Trainer's getting a hold of me saying, I want to be on Hanging with Bushy. I'm like, oh, well, fuck. I guess this is a podcast now. So check out the Hanging with Bushy page because apparently this is now a podcast. Probably having people on to talk about whatever.
Most great things start out as accidents, bro.
Oh, this one did, and I'm finally up at a whole 100 viewers. So thanks, guys.
All right, man. Andy, what we got going on next week?
Oh, next week,
our year-end show.
Our year-end show here on Black Spinner Circle. It's going to be the best of 20, the best 10, the top 10 albums of 2023 plus honorable mentions. Also, our first episode should be coming out soon on all podcasts available with 3 Shots Down with me, Jerry Soupy, and Kate Doré. We're going to be working on our second episode this week. First episode is going to be about the tragic life of Brad Delp, and next week we're working on Sid Barrett. So that'll be coming out soon. Also, Al and I, this is our show now, where we're both each other's co-hosts. Next week, we're doing the best of 2023. After that, we are doing a vinyl battle between Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil versus Rat, Out of the Cellar.
Mhm.
We got Metal Mike on that. I just spoke to him today. He'll be on that with us. So, and then of course,
Co-host.
yeah, and then of course Al's got a list of his ideas. I got a list of my ideas, and I think we're gonna be going strong into 2024. We're thinking of adding the show into more outlets as
Nice.
well. So we got a lot of stuff that we can be grateful for. I was thinking of changing the name of the Black Spinner Circle podcast, but I like it. I might go ahead and keep it.
Yeah.
I feel ya, dude. I have the plug, and Metal Mike wants to change that name so bad, and we're actually working towards it because it's a name I can get down with because it's part of. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm so the plug's been around for a while. I've had a lot of shitty co-hosts, and then I got Metal Mike. you know,
and
Metal
then
Mike's a cool dude, man.
yeah,
I don't
he
like
really is.
rules.
I just think that Black Spinner Circle has a nice following.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Last couple of
Yeah.
years. So I'm just gonna work on Al and keep that. I wanted to find a title of the show that can incorporate both of our names in it, but really Black Spinner Circle.
That's fine, dude.
Everything.
Yeah.
It really does.
We
So-
might have crossover shows where like Be Cool every podcast out.
Yeah.
You know, Andy might come on there. Whatever. It's gonna be us co-hosting
Yeah,
with each
yeah,
other, man. We're a team now, so I'm glad you guys are along for the ride.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So much.
Hey, we can't all be the Freeform Rock podcast.
Nah, man.
Damn.
Love you, Mark. Love you.
That's one of a kind, bro. That's one of a kind.
It's America's podcast.
We love you,
Oh.
Mark.
On
You
that
done
note,
that specifically for me, Al, and I know you're a Cowboys fan too, which is fucking hilarious because you're from Jersey. Because like I'm not from New York, I just lived there a long time.
yeah, well,
But that was a direct shot at me. He did that shit to me because of some America's team shit I was posting
Yeah,
on Facebook
yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
That dirty fuck.
Oh, and Tuesday, Jerry and I will do our football podcast called the Gridiron Smackdown.
That's a great podcast.
Mhm.
Great, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. So
Forgive me if I weep anytime someone talks about football right now.
Oh,
It's okay. One day you'll meet a girl and you'll like introduce your private parts and you realize
oh, come
football
on.
is man stuff. Let's watch this.
Yeah, the Steelers are having a tough time.
Yeah, the Steelers aren't doing great right
Oh,
now.
tough
It's
time.
not a
Who?
great time. What? The team that the NFL wanted to be America's team and they said no thanks, we're Pittsburgh's team. That team.
Boy, I can't get my feet off the ground from all the shit talk that's happening here.
I'm telling you.
That team.
And on that note, on behalf of Andy Rodriguez and myself, thanks for tuning in. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah if you celebrate that stuff, and Happy New Year, man. We'll see you before then. But thanks, guys, for being on. Have a great night.
Thanks for having us.
Fun. Thank you so much.
I'm sure that
Cheers,
will
fellas.
throughout the week and into the new year. Thanks, guys,
Cheers.
for being our friends.
Thanks, guys. You guys are
Thank
great.
you guys.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Later.
Good night, y'all.